Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are D&D Boyband after a very long break. A group of friends that all like to play D&D Pretty Boys because apparently it's not fantasy and it's everyone's hot. So we have obviously been on a break since Clue's one shot in. Did we finish in April, March, April, March? And in that time, we've been prepping for our new campaign, which will be officially starting in August in my new world. And Clued very thankfully took over some of that while I was writing. However, both Sai and Clued will be traveling for an important competition for several weeks, July, August. So we thought it was best to start afterwards. Best of luck to both of you. I know both of your lives are consumed by this. Sai isn't here right now because she is spending time, I believe, sewing at the moment or working on it. But we'll be watching and James Bloom and be watching. So hi Sai, we miss you and look forward to playing with you soon. So we've chatted about it and we're going to do some mini kind of backstory one shots between now and then. These are designed if you pick up and play. They are quite silly. There isn't a lot of deep backstory to the characters that necessarily appear, other than perhaps somebody's player character you might be getting a sneak preview of. We're not going to reveal whose ones they are because that might give a little bit of the game away. Some are a bit more secretive than others about their characters. The one we'll be playing today is potentially not secretive at all about who it's about. And the plan is to do 5 or maybe 6 of these, with the final one being the week before we start in August. It's also an introduction for the players to learn more about the world, one of you to learn more about the world, and just to hopefully have a little bit of silly fun. Jen, I can't imagine that tasted good. So, first of all, let me introduce everybody to begin with. We have, first of all, I'm Dungeon Master Jamie, and joining me tonight we have Ben on Davide, gender uncertain, I think is what we decided at the moment. Erin as Marco, Luke as Stefano, Clued as Angelo, and Eski as Luca. So, tonight, all of the group will be playing members of the City Watch of Varsala. Now, this is a very different Varsala than the one that appeared in the one shot. It's set approximately 100 years before this, about 2001, the year of the world. And the group will be playing members of the City Watch tasked in investigating an unfortunate arson and perhaps murder of an elderly lady and the destruction of her mansion. In this, they will be interviewing some of the servants, perhaps investigating the house, and piecing together what happened to write their report. The group are all playing various members of the City Watch, and Varsala, to give all of you some context, are the largest islands represented in the pizza slice of Lycael, close to the Lost Plain. Because of its fairly unique position, it is a remarkably calm and stable part of the world, and has enjoyed, because of that, to be an important trading, tourism destination. Its proximity to the high heavens has meant that there is a heavy religious influence from the Immaculate Ecclesiarchy. So it is currently ruled by the Golden Order, who is led by his Butitide. That is the correct honorific for a patriarch. I looked it up. The High Praetor Ptolemy III. It is a particularly beautiful, sparkling white city set upon a cliff top, a very rich city, and a fairly liberal, by religious standards, city. It enjoys the proximity of trade and riches, along with some zealotry. It is a city that is separated up broadly between the Golden Order, who are the official rulers, but that doesn't mean that it is a typical theocracy. There is a police that works efficiently and fairly. There is a mercantile class, and all in all, it is considered one of the better and therefore significantly more expensive places to live in the world of Lycael. On this night, however, something awful has happened. You are all summoned in the dead of night. You've all been woken up from your beds to perform this duty, and have been brought to Lady Donati's study. On the way there, you are briefed. Sorry to mention on the way there that you are briefed that Lady Donati has been, she was a woman of some 90-something age. Nobody's been polite enough in the several last few years to ask. And before was a notable historian. However, in her more recent years, she has been much more of a recluse. However, you are as you are brought to this hand, you are told that unfortunately Lady Donetti has been murdered during the night, and the evidence has been attempted to be destroyed by burning down parts of her mansion. As you are aroused from your sleep and brought to the police station, watch, whatever we want to call it, if you could all, I suppose, introduce yourselves and I suppose chat amongst yourselves for a tiny bit about how it feels being woken up in the dead of night and the events that have happened. So, no matter anyway, if you could go around and introduce yourselves as city guards of Varsala on the holy island of Sacramar. That is the right way around, Clue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clue knows this area well better than I do. Ben.
Okay, so a spry and entirely unfussed Davide springs her way through the saloon doors of the guard post and runs up to the nearest to the captain and then reports in his, Sir, I am here. I'm ready. My first arson, yay! It's obviously terrible. yes, but oh my god, yay!
So you actually run up, and it is not your captain, as expected. It is somebody who you've seen before from a distance, but never actually spoken to. It is Ivor Montague. You'd still do the same thing, as you are, but I will describe an Ivor Montague once we begin. Once we go through. So, give her introduction, Davide.
What was that? Who next?
Erin.
Oh, well. Reluctantly sauntering into the room is Marco, who looks absolutely pissed because his usual partner Polo's gone on holiday and left him behind with these dimwits. So he walks into the back of the room and leans against the wall at the back and sighs, flicks his blonde hair over his shoulder and says, "All right, when do we get started?"
Thank you very much. Luke on Stefano.
A short halfling comes in pretty late with a jacket over his shoulders and a cup of something hot. He's not really fucking around. He's not happy about being woken up, but it's not his first rodeo. And he walks in and he immediately starts demanding, "All right, where are the autopsy notes? Where are they?"
Stefano. Angelo, please.
So Angelo trips on the way in, and kind of bangs his head on the doorframe, maybe next to where Marco is leaning, and in his typical ditzy style, kind of yawns and says, is there a crime? Are we solving a crime? Guys, it's so late. And then he yawns. But glory to the order, I guess.
And Ezekio and Luca, would you please introduce
So
yourselves?
he doesn't walk in because he's actually been sitting at the back of the room the whole time, just no one had noticed. And he's currently eating a sandwich. It's a tiefling, you can see, but he's kind of chubby, which isn't common for the tieflings, but he's currently eating kind of a sandwich of some kind. And his shirt looks like at some point he probably dropped it down himself. And he's just kind of in the room, not paying attention at all. Just seemingly has been there a while. Oh,
Okay,
hey guys.
Great. So, to kick the session off, we will not be doing investigation checks as standard investigation checks or perception, whatever you will. Instead, what will happen is I have set a DC per room. You will all roll upon arriving, because what I don't want to happen is like all 6 of you 5 of you, to say, I investigate the fireplace, and all 5 of you roll, and it's a DC 15, but you're all rogues and you just succeed. So instead, per room, you will all roll an investigation check. You will then succeed on a set number you succeed on a certain number of them against the rooms you see. These will then be your investigation points to investigate the room with. If you investigate something and there's no clue there, because there just isn't a clue, you'll get that back, but it will basically determine the number of clues you're able to find in any given room. You can decide as a group, out of character if you wish, or in character, how you spend them or where you spend your time. That clear for everybody. Slightly different system, I appreciate. Giving it a trial run.
We'll learn by do. You tell us what to do and we'll do it.
Slightly different system as you can. However, conversations, persuasion, perception, insight, perception, anything else you want to do. This will, so, Ivor Montague stands in front of you. And the first thing you may notice about the heir of House Montague, who is, as you all would know, the son of Lady Montague, who is the leader of the House of Law, is that he's disconcertingly tall for a human, quite broad, straight-backed, well-presented, save for a mess of unruly brown waves of hair that have made a bold attempt to escape styling. From his size, you're pretty certain he spends a lot of time working out, running, wrestling, whatever you envision for that exercise. Dressed in the very
in this world is lifting a thing.
Yeah,
It must be.
Does he look like Miguel from Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Excellent.
Spider-Verse yet.
Spoilers.
I can decide that one for you.
Yeah, he wears the very best of Varsala finery, and actually, those of you who would know this, who spent time around the dairies, he's clearly come from a party. This is a very opulent city, and he is well dressed for this opulence. A silk half cape, which sits atop an opulent ruffled vest, striped in dark blues and black, which comes down to a low V on his chest, from which a snow white shirt with pearl buttons and lace adornments peeking out. You can tell who wrote this, it wasn't me. Between pearl stud earrings, tall boots, and snug trousers, you suspect he himself is either a follower of the latest fashions or he is dressed by someone who is. His strong features and clear blue eyes, which help him stand out against the dark tan. He is every bit the embodiment of his reputation as the pride of the great House of Law. However, does anyone here have a passive insight of over 12?
Almost
It's my
certainly.
character sheet. I've lost it.
Almost certainly not. Wait,
I do.
I do, damn it.
You are all
level
You-
2 rogues just
yeah, you are all aware that he looks
I'm 16.
nervous
Yo.
tonight. So clearly, whatever has
Nervous.
happened has set him
Nervous?
on edge. Yes, he looks nervous, and he kind of turns to you and says, "Oh, I'm glad you could all get here so quickly. Wait, Luca, you're here. Oh, fine, can't be helped.
I normally do. I don't do field work.
Well, that's fine. You'll be needed tonight.
Are you like a desk guy, dude?
Lord Montague.
Yeah.
I
was-
already went to Captain Umbridge's house and got the files and the dossiers and the papers, and I've already tried to brief the team on it. And I'm so pleased that you're here so that I can get my own commission. That's what's happening, right?
Oh my god, dude. Oh.
You've already got the papers and the files, but it's just happened.
Yes. I went to Captain Umbridge's house and she told me to go away at first, but then I kind of kept talking, and then eventually she let me in, and she said that there was a terrible fire and there was something happened, and she said that there was an incident. And
There's a fire?
Then she wrote some notes down on a piece of paper and said that was a description of what happened, and that was the eyewitness accounts, and she gave them to me and told me to go away.
May I read them?
Yes, of course, sir.
He kind of
She hands them over.
does them. He plumbs through them. All of you see in his face that this is not eyewitness accounts. Whatever it is very clearly something given to make Davide go away. And he makes the judgment in his mind. He's smart enough. He's like, yes, it's very good. Well, I suppose, Davide, you've elected yourself leader.
No, please.
Thank you so much, sir. I won't let you down.
Simply for this investigation, now, all of you, presumably, from point to another, have seen the mansion of Lady Donati. She atop the cliffs facing out over the coast. You may or may not have seen the smoke billowing away from it.
Oh, I thought she was having a barbecue. She okay?
There's a barbecue?
No, she's dead.
Oh.
Well, at least they
Like
saved
I
money on the
said,
crematorium.
Has anybody got the autopsy notes?
Her body has been taken. Please, if you allow me, her body has been taken by the priesthood, and speak with the dead performed upon it. And that will fill, if you allow me, and he distributes, if you allow me to take you, and he kind of begins walking out the door. I understand that the Golden Orders, and in particularly High Praetor Ptolemy's personal guard, was first on the scene, and they have prepared a report of what they know. I understand there was an incident at House Fortomp's recent party celebrating Hearth's Day that is key information here, or they believe is key information here.
Yo, we get to meet the Praetor's personal guard. That's so cool.
DM, sorry, the guy we're talking to, what's his station and relation?
So he doesn't actually kind of officially have a station. He is the son of the current president of the House of Law / leader.
He's a rich kid. Okay,
He's a rich kid who kind of helps out with all the stuff, and is now, like, you all kind of defer to him because you're kind of technically deferring to his mother, but it's definitely a case of nepotism. But he's
My
quite an
character wouldn't
impressive.
necessarily know that super well.
He's quite an impressive, likable guy, and he's been around enough that it's not like uncommon. And this is definitely early in the night, and you suspect that he's representing his mother here, who maybe wasn't gotten out of bed.
In that case,
You can ask
Stefano
that
goes. He goes, so very fancy. You're dressed for the occasion, I see.
Yes, I was actually at the party in question, and had my signet ring stolen by the miscreant. You can all roll an insight check on that question.
Alright, let's see that then. I got a 12. Sorry, is there a roll 20 up in the air that we can jump into? Or not?
Just jump into the old one. I can.
Is that
I'll
Club
jump in.
Boogaloo or D&D Boyband?
Let's all jump into D&D Boyband, and then I can at least see the rolls.
I've rolled a 25, Your Honor.
25. Wow, Jesus. Yeah. So 25, 12 other rolls. If anybody wants to specifically, or you don't have to, obviously. Any sorry, Luca, what's that?
I said it's not food related, so I
Okay,
it's
fair enough.
going to be paying attention to.
I rolled an 18.
Okay, a 12, nothing of the sort. An 18, he seems pretty intensely embarrassed about it. Doesn't really want to talk about it, but he goes bright red at the mention of that. A 25, there's something slightly more than embarrassment in that voice. And like, he was at the party, he's probably got more information to share, which he begins to, and you can talk about it. So he says, my understanding is there was a murder several years ago of some members of the Golden Order, and the miscreant, a pink tiefling, and he hands you all out the second of the posters I showed you, escaped, and it's been on my mother's mind for quite some time, and on High Praetor and everyone else, and he escaped. We don't know where or what happened, and well, he was at the party tonight, and I didn't recognize him, but his beauty tutor did, and he was chased from the party and seems to have seemingly made his escape. However, upon returning to House Donati, he seems to have killed her and set the house ablaze to hide the evidence.
Do you know what the best part of this is? We get to fill out a Speak with Dead requisition form 2 night version. Do you know how rare the night version is? Luca! The night version!
I didn't even know there was a night version.
I didn't know that was a difference either.
I'm gonna get started on filling it out.
You fill in paperwork?
By the gods! Stefan puts his head in his hands.
You know, no one actually checks that, right?
The artists drawn up the second one and produced the second.
Actually, it's a.
This is what he looks like.
It's technically my job to check that paperwork sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said no one checks the paperwork.
I didn't even know we had to do paperwork. Do we do paperwork?
You don't need to do paperwork.
You do.
Of course you need to do paperwork.
I've never done any paperwork.
I've only lost 5 forms this month, which is a personal record.
Hold on. None of yous have somebodies to do your paperwork. What rank are yous?
I don't have paperwork to do. At least I don't think I do.
Are you even employed by the guard? Everybody has paperwork.
I think so. I mean, I'm here.
What? You don't do paperwork?
Maybe. His eyes just kind of like drift up to the ceiling as he just thinks about it. No, I don't think I do.
Look, anyway, we are going to meet some representatives and they will inform us of what they believe happened, and then you will all investigate and confirm that their story is correct. Is that clear to all of you?
Yeah, but don't be embarrassed about losing your ring. It's fine. It happens to all of us. It can't be that important, right? I mean, it's just the signet ring of the House of Lore. I mean, who cares, right? It's cool.
Kind of smiles in the most fake smile possible and says,
DM. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
No. He's saying something else.
It just says, I'm sure it will turn up soon.
I forget jewelry at my lover's houses all the time. You can always get another one made.
That is...
Oh, you were at the party? Oh, wow, look at you. And he kind of winks at him.
He goes bright red and just says, we should get in the carriage. And just walks into the waiting carriage outside.
Wait,
DM, would I find it weird that, or not weird, or like, you know, we're people of the law, I suppose. Would it be kind of odd that we're being slightly kind of ordered around and dictated to by someone who's not? Do you know what I mean?
In this specific instance, no, because he's representing his mother. But if you could make a general, I'm going to say just general police intuition check, and you can choose which check you want to roll on it, which is, you can choose what you want to add to it.
I think I'm going to make that an investigation check with these expertise. Oh, it came out as a really, really boring 10.
Yeah. So for your so to clarify 100%, like Ivor Montague has been trained for this. He's been groomed for this. In the way it's, he is going to eventually take over from his mother in this role. It is not uncommon for him to be giving all of you these orders, or at least representing his mother in some way. Whilst Varsala is, not a corrupt place, it's expected, the ruling house's family will take over from that role. With a 10, it's not immediately twinging, but something just feels off about this whole thing to you. Like, call it, you can't put your foot on it right now, Stefan, but like, someone with your experience, something's wrong. Something's not quite right. And it's hit you immediately, and you're going to keep on track of it, and maybe it will, that nagging feeling will get you somewhere in the end.
And to contextualize that, our location is or isn't the crime scene, sorry?
You're going to the crime scene. So you're now, I'm going to say, all in the carriage on the way to the crime scene.
Cool.
It says, and that's kind of all the information we've got. Obviously, it's only just happened. The Golden Orders and Ptolemy's personal guard were on site. The rest of the guards and bodyguards are out searching for him right now. They haven't found him yet, but to make things official, and we need to be involved. So I'm trusting all of you to find out and investigate the crime scene, and confirm that when we do get him, he can be tried properly.
Well, of course, that even as if it's... You said a pink tiefling, did you know?
Like he's got the wanted posters in front of you. Yes, this is the artist's recreation of him from the party and him fleeing crime scene. Based on the description from several eyewitnesses,
it
including
must
myself.
be a closed case already in that case.
Yeah, why do we need to do anything? It sounds like you know.
It's very important that the paperwork is tidied away here, no matter how solved this may already be.
So I do have to do paperwork?
No, you don't, Angelo. David will do it.
Oh,
It's Davide.
Whatever.
But-
Dave?
No, it's Davide.
Dave.
But we are a city of
Davin,
laws.
do you have
and
autopsy
institutions.
documentation?
We are a city of laws and institutions. We
course.
do not simply execute people because they have been pointed out, no matter how high that station is, and therefore, when this person is caught, they will be trialed, and that trial will need evidence, and that is your responsibility.
Excellently put, my lord, which is why you must have absolutely no more to do with this case. You cannot give us any more orders because you are a person of interest. You are a victim of a crime. You must fill out a declaration, and for you to be involved in the investigation of your own crime would be a conflict of interest. And therefore, you must immediately relinquish your authoritative powers to the next senior officer and must have no more to do with this.
The look of intense relief across his face is actually, like, palpable. Like, he visibly softens in almost every aspect in the seat. It goes, You're absolutely right, David. Of course you are. So, when we get there, I will hand you immediately off to Captain Alara Silverwing, who will be taking you through and be in charge of the operation from here out. I'm merely to brief you and escort you.
And make sure someone takes your writ of ownership of the ring so that you can prove property and ownership of it. You must fill out a witness statement as well to show that what happened so that you can identify the criminal. And then you'll probably have to spend maybe 4 to 6 hours with a descriptive artist to identify that the person, in fact, who did steal your ring was the person that you saw. Oh, I love police work!
Yeah, same, but like I don't really understand it. It's just sort of cool. But wait, Mr. Lloyd, didn't you were at the party, right? He like stole your ring or whatever.
He
Does that
must
mean
have
you
done.
saw him? Like, is that he like looks down at the posters? Is that right? Like, is that the
It's
same
partially
guy?
based on my rendition. Yes, it looks like him to me
Okay.
and others.
And he definitely
During this-
went and killed a person after stealing a ring. That's kind of weird. Kind
Well, he
of a lot.
returned as the bodyguards pursued him to Lady Donati's mansion, and when they arrived, they found it set ablaze and her body.
Criminals are so wild, man. It sounds so hard.
Anyway, so as you approach House Donati, you find yourselves traveling along an ornate iron fence, once protecting the sprawling estate from the top one of these cliffs across Varsala. Clearly, whatever she did, you are informed a historian. Previously, she profited well from her work. The path seems to have been cleared recently. We're looking through to the gardens as you come through to the driveway. What was once a beautiful garden now bears the masks of fire. Some of the trees are charred and the flower beds are trampled and scorched. There is a partially burnt gazebo in the center of the garden with a small statue of a celestial figure at its center, surprisingly untouched by the fire. A small pond, once likely home to fish and other wildlife, is murky and covered in soot. As you disembark, you are introduced. Montague steps out and says, Captain, it's my pleasure to introduce the investigation team. And turning around is Captain Alara Silverwing, an imposing Azamar, standing at about 6'3", muscular build, seemingly years of combat training. Skin is pale with a slight golden hue, and her long silvery hair falls in waves down her back, tied into a warrior's braid. Her eyes are a deep blue and kind of glowing as they turn to each of you. She is wearing a suit of gleaming plate armor, ornately decorated with motifs and wings of celestial bodies, carries a longsword emitting a soft radiant light. A large kite shield bearing the emblem of the Golden Order is strapped to her back. Her wings, however, for now are not manifested.
And DM, sorry to reiterate, what was her involvement? That she is the
captain. She's Captain Alara Silverwing, and she is captain of the forces of the Golden Order, kind of the secondary military police force within the city, and a member of the personal guard of Praetor Ptolemy III, the leader of the Golden Order and the leader of Varsala.
Whoa, she's so cool.
Hello, how do you do?
It's good to see all of you. Montague, thank you very much for bringing them here. Montague says, yes, well, as pointed out to me by Davide here, I am a person of interest and must no longer involve myself in the case. So, best of luck to all of you. And he kind of nods. I'll be retreating to my house now and getting some well-needed sleep after all of this. And begins to leave, leaving you alone with...
Sir, don't forget the sketch. You must go back to the station.
Oh, thank you, Davide. Of course. And turns round.
And just before
he is not walking towards the station. Yes.
Before you do leave, just so we can pop by, where do you live?
Are you unaware of the seat of House Montague?
I'm not from here.
He kind of points to one of the largest houses near the center of the town and goes, I'm sure you can, and anyone else can find me should they need to.
Yeah,
Oh yes, it shouldn't take a detective to find you there.
No, it shouldn't. And you notice, Savannah, actually, he looks back at you several times as he leaves. Obviously slightly confused by the confrontation. You are now all standing in front of House Donati, Captain Alara Silverwing, who says, well, I understand that you may think this is a mere formality. It kind of is, but formalities can be important. It is up to all of you to confirm what has happened here tonight. I am available for questions, and we have managed to find two of the servants here, the butler, Bernardo Blackthorn, and I believe the in-house tailor, Seraphine Loomhart, who will be available for questioning should you need it. As to what remains of the house, and she kind of points over her shoulder, the entrance hall, the library, Lady Donati's personal study, the room that we believe the miscreant has been using for about a week, and the laboratory, the kitchen, are all fairly intact. There is some fire damage throughout, and some other rooms have been destroyed, but those are all places where you can conduct your investigation, I believe. We have, as I'm sure Mr. Montague has let you know, what the events of tonight have transpired. His Beatitude, His Excellency, the High Praetor Ptolemy III, arrived at the party, and with his incredible memory, recognized that one of the guests there was a suspect of a crime quite some years ago. He respectfully spoke to this person and then went to mention his guards. However, this person seems to have made their escape immediately. They were tracked to here, upon which we arrived to this and have only just put out the fire. It seems as though this person could not have been in Varsala long, otherwise they would have been found. And unfortunately, this was confirmed by the speak with dead spell performed on Lady Donati, who was found murdered. It is clear this person was here for no longer a week. He forced the servants and Lady Donati to keep his whereabouts hidden, and he had gone to the party after murdering Lady Donati to perhaps find his next victim.
Whoa, he's a proper crime guy. That's like huge crimes. Damn.
Listen, Is there any chance we could get the transcript of the Speak with Dead conversation?
Yes, of course. And she takes out a piece of parchment and hands it to you. When did you die? This evening. Who killed you? Pink tiefling by the name of Kazimir Costley. How long did he stay with you? How long was he here? Even a week. Why did you allow him in your house? He forced me. And do you know why he went to the party? No.
So like this is kind of case closed, right? Like what do we just like look around and just like I don't know say yeah at the end? Is that what would yeah?
Do we have the autopsy report files of how this woman was killed?
Thank you.
It's still being done, unfortunately.
Can we see the body?
No, it's been moved.
It's been moved!
This is an active crime scene.
This is an active crime scene.
It was important for the cast for death spell. She was already fairly old and senile.
That's not a good enough excuse.
Give me photographs of the body. Sorry, live sketches.
What is a
I
photograph?
know photographs exist. Wait, no.
Arcane record.
Arcane records. What was that camera that lady made? Was that like she's the only one who's got a camera,
It was an
or
arcane capture device for ghosts. Yeah.
It's 100 years in the future, so
100 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100 years.
True,
The camera's
okay.
invented.
difference.
What about the sketch artist who would have drawn the body?
I appreciate your diligence, but this really is a tick box operation.
Cool. I'm actually so glad because this is starting to sound.
Those
a
are my
bit
favorite
hard.
kind of operations.
Yeah, I don't really like it when it's too difficult. So this is cool. Let's just go look around. It's fine. We'll just
No,
just look
this
about, look at some stuff, and then we'll be like, yeah, you killed her. And then it's all good.
This is our big chance. If we find and apprehend this wanton, we could be going places within the guard. We could even make sergeant.
Do you think he's still here? Are we in danger? Are we gonna die?
Like
Should you
contact
find
with
anything,
Avenue.
should you find him, you should immediately alert anyone. He is a dangerous criminal and should not be approached unless there are sufficient backup.
Well,
Okay.
I'm sure that we've got Stefano. How many cases have he cracked?
David, please. Captain,
Davide.
It's
one
Davide.
moment. Davros, whatever. Captain, would you bear us just the slightest moment to talk among ourselves? But please, don't go anywhere.
I'm not going to go anywhere. I presume you'll begin your investigation now. I'll be waiting
Yes,
just outside the
we'll-
driveway.
We'll be back with you shortly. And Stefano, even though he's a bit short, probably the rest a bit rotund and short, sort of puts his arms around the necks and he's kind of pulling them in and sort of pulling everyone in one direction into sort of like huddle.
Ow.
And everyone's heads are sort of in, and he's sort of looking in on the like. Alright, I don't know how you lot do things around here, but back in Ullakai, we get paid to do a job, and we do that job. What are we? Investigators. What are we gonna do? Investigate.
No, you're tugging my belt.
Actually,
Yeah.
I'm slightly closer to an administrator than an investigator.
That's fine. There's plenty of paperwork to do. Isn't that right, Davrin?
I don't know who that is.
We're speaking to David
Who-
there.
It's Davide.
Okay, Davros. Davide. Thank you.
Look,
But yes, I admire your enthusiasm. You keep that energy, and the rest of yous would do best to take a leaf out of Davros's book here.
Why do you have leaves in your book? It's kind of weird, man.
A leaf
metaphor?
a page.
I think it's a metaphor.
What's that?
Aye, a metaphor. A true detective we have here now.
Where do you think we should start first, Stefano? The room where the body was found? The witnesses? Or perhaps the room where the criminal was residing?
We should start with the body. They've already moved it. God knows. By the gods knows what else they'll do to it now.
They'll probably have had to fill out some paperwork.
I'm keen to speak to the witnesses before they start forgetting things as they're wont to do.
You'll probably want some paperwork to transcribe what they say.
Yes, you can stand behind me and transcribe the conversations, Davide.
You're kidding. That would be a dream.
Okay.
I've got my magic quill.
Sorry, Claude, what's your character's name again?
I'm Angelo.
Angelo.
Anyone with a passive perception of more than 13?
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, you all look around. You notice that Captain Ilaria Silverwing has walked out of the driveway you all were and is now standing behind the rock gates. But isn't hasn't taken out a book, isn't scribing, it's kind of all just watching you. Fairly unflinchingly.
He's so cool. I love the order. It's so shiny. So gold.
I love the order. They're so orderly.
Yeah. What was that, Stefano? Did you say my name?
That's right, Angelo. Do you want to come with me and we'll take a wee look at the evidence?
The evidence. Yeah, I can look. I can look at things. That's cool. Let's do it. Yeah. And he just nods and stands still and just looks at you until you move.
Okay, where?
I guess we walk off this way and they walk off that way. Is that the case?
Okay, so are we splitting the party? Great. Where are the party going? So who is going to talk to the witnesses?
I am. And
Okay.
Davide is coming with me.
Who's going to investigate? Right, I think the only one I don't know is wait,
Luca.
where's Eski on this? Yeah, Luca. Thank you. Luca, where are you going? So I will give you the options
Who
again:
works
the
off
entrance
with-
hall, the library,
Yeah.
the study, the room the miscreant was staying in, the laboratory, or the kitchen.
I mean,
You know what you want to do?
obviously
lavatory.
it's gonna be the kitchen.
Oh,
It's gonna use it.
Actually, yeah, he's wandering off towards the kitchen. Upon
Hell
hearing
yeah.
immediately about the kitchen. Even if
Okay,
it's just by himself.
wonderful.
There might be evidence in this jar of pickles.
A reminder that
Look at the bottom.
should you so I'm going to say to keep kind of people involved in their own thing, if you choose to go and investigate a room and you're on your own, the whole group will still roll checks, and then that's how many you each have in each other's rooms should you decide to go there, rather than have each of you need to walk to that room. So as a group, who do you want to go first? Witnesses? Body?
Yeah, you got witnesses. Go first. Go for it.
Witnesses. Let's have the witnesses.
Cool.
All right.
Go.
Who's our witnesses?
Cool. These will be happening sequentially, so you need to decide when you leave and come back together, regardless of actual time spent. So the two witnesses, they have kind of been standing quite far off. As you walk past, Larry says, she seems to be talking to Montague, just leaving, as about to leave, and says, you're going to take them all in. And he says, well, of course, it's a noble thing to do. From the brief conversation as you both walk past, you will infer that the employ of all of the servants of this house are now employed by House Montague. As you go along, there are the two there who answer questions. There is the in-house tailor, who introduced herself as Serafina Loomheart, a half-elf woman in her late 40s, slender build, very graceful demeanor, her silver hair, loose waves down her back, eyes lavender, wearing a dress of her own making, adorned with intricate embroidery. We're going to get sign here somehow. Around her neck, she wears a small magnifying glass, carries a sewing kit in one pocket, and she seems to almost be quite fluid with her movements. On the other hand, the butler is Bernardo Blackthorn, a stern and imposing figure at 6'2", a human, a straight back that makes him seem even taller, a clean-shaven face, piercing dark eyes, neatly combed black hair, dressed absolutely immaculately in a black tailcoat, still wearing white gloves, a silver pocket watch, and you can choose which one you want to talk to first.
I'd like to, first of all, separate the witnesses, as I'm going to be interrogating both of them one by one.
Very well. They are separated, pushed off to one side, the other one brought a little bit further away, out of earshot of the other.
And he looks over to Davide. You got your pen ready? Your quill.
The quill sort of hovers above the parchment.
Excellent.
Ready.
Seraphima, can you please recount the events of the evening, exactly what you witnessed?
Yes, well, it was a fairly usual night. Young Master Crossley expected me to dress him on short notice, as always, and he needed the finest outfit for the event he was going to, so I rushed to prepare all the fabric, prepare it for him, and what was interesting was for the first time in a long time, his specifications were to fit him. Most unusual. And he wore the outfit and said he was pleased with it, which is a rare compliment, I'll have you know. And then I took the rest of the evening off. Frankly, I was done.
And that's it?
Well, yes, he was going to a party, so I made him an outfit, and he then left to the party, and I come back to this.
What time did you see the young Master Crossley?
Its dressing normally takes about 2 hours. He always has adjustments or small things that need fixing, so he left at about 7:30, so I'd probably say we started around 5.
And
His valet was here, he was late, as always.
Did you watch Master Crossley leave the property?
Yes, he looked fabulous, if I would say so myself.
And did he leave your purview at any point between finishing dressing and leaving the property?
No.
And what did you do after the young master left for the evening?
I went and had a well-deserved drink.
How many drinks did you have?
3.
Do you normally have 3 drinks in the evening?
No, normally 2, but today warranted 3.
And do you have anyone who can corroborate your story?
Yes.
Who drank with you?
I can provide you a list of names.
Excellent.
He
Davide,
was late,
write these
Aaron.
down.
I wonder why he was late. Did he say where he was?
Sakare, he was always late to the valet, as in like the valet arrived and he made them wait.
Yeah.
Is that all?
Guys, I'm not a professional investigator.
No,
Anyone
that's
got any
fine.
questions you want to ask?
I have a couple of questions. That's
Oh,
came off
God.
it.
He looks over his shoulder to Davide. Go on then.
Go on, Davide.
Okay, so I read in the investigator's handbook that it's all about means, motive, and opportunity, and you have to establish these to establish a crime. So we know that Davide had the means because he
Davide had the means.
we know that this
Outed yourself there.
Kazimir.
Case closed.
we know that Kazimir had the means because wait, do we know he had the means?
What do we know about Kazimir?
At this point, pretty much that he's a pink tiefling that arrived and went to the party and come back and killed the thing, but not much else.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So he's not like a notorious figure in the community. or anything
You know
like
that he was that it's believed by several members of people who are familiar with the matter that he committed murders 4 or 5 years ago, and then that's the same person. But honestly, right now, limited to that and his name and his appearance.
Who was it
Yeah,
he
let's-
murdered 4 or 5 years ago? Because that's relevant.
It's like 10
operatives.
years more like.
Oh, so sorry. Yes, 10 years. Operatives of the Golden Order. Names
And
not important at this
did
point.
he kill them
but
in
you
the,
understand
in the
they were
same way?
You understand that these. If I can reckon it, that you would have been told that these murders occurred in the street, and they were struck down by magic.
Okay. So, Davide asks Serafina. She's like, "So, in order of most important question to last, could you describe the means in which he exercised some degree of control? Could you describe the amount of threat that he posed? Could you describe the general demeanor of the suspect? Could you describe the level of fear that he imposed upon the general household? Could you
Davide.
describe his relationship?
Vita. One at a time.
Literally.
Which one?
Start with one.
Yeah, but
Let
which
her
one?
answer. Whichever one you like the best.
So
Do one.
He-
Let her answer.
he exercised a certain level of control around his surroundings. He was a very particular individual. We had many fights about whether or not a seam was misaligned. The means of that control was a very sharp tongue, and I'm sorry, I forgot the rest of the questions. Could you go through them one by one?
Yes, of course. What was his relationship like with A, you, B, the rest of the servants, and C, the general populace throughout the grounds?
Affectionate antagonism is how I would describe my relationship with him. The rest of the servants, I believe, would describe him as a spoiled brat. And the Lady Donatari herself, well, that's how he staged. She seemed invigorated by him. You, of course, would have heard about her condition deteriorating in time, but she loved hearing his stories. She loved telling him all about hers. She seemed happier and more energetic whenever he was around, so that's why we all put up with it, frankly.
Invigorated.
So the suspect didn't threaten you in any way to continue
Threatened to break my sewing machine on several occasions, as well as my hands, but not specifically, no.
And did you ever witness similar threats or promises of violence towards either the lady or any of the other serving staff?
It's not to Lady Victoria. I mean, you're clearly not. Forgive me, you're clearly not an in-house staff for any of these great houses. I mean, threats and insults are common, but never acted on.
So, did the tiefling bear some sort of grudge then towards the lady or a member of the house specifically?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, 5 years is a long time, maybe, but
You think we might be missing a motive?
Lady Seraphima, did the victim have any other enemies or people who may have wished her harm?
him, he was very quiet about his past and very odd about. I mean, he must have made enemies. You can only go to so many parties at Varsala before somebody, you drink the wrong drink or say the wrong thing to the wrong person. But not amongst the people I would talk to.
Sorry, Jamie, what's the name of the victim?
Lady Vittori Donati.
Victory. Wait, what?
Vittoria Donati. I will post it in the chat.
Vittoria Venati. Okay. Sorry. So Marco clarifies. No, did Lady Vittoria Venati
sorry.
have any enemies or people who wished her harm?
Oh, sorry. Could you post in the chat? I can't change my Discord screen. I mean, she went on many expeditions when she was younger, and I presume at one point would have made some. But she was barely able to leave her chair for the past 15, 20 years. I suspect any grudge she held, she probably outlived, or wasn't worth enacting vengeance, if you understand what I mean.
And has the house received any other visitors recently?
No, honestly, there used to be scholars who came to peruse Donatati's collection to question her about her many expeditions, but they slowed and dried up. Other than, us and servants and friends and occasional well-wisher, it's not in the past month. No, it's a bit sad.
All right, Davide, any other questions?
Well, I think we covered motive. We know that he had the means because he was a magic user, but perhaps we could get some more details on that. And then opportunity, I suppose. Well, after he left for 7:30, we could establish whether she was alone with him at any point.
Yes, we're going to need that autopsy report to understand how she was killed and when she was killed.
Indeed.
All right, let's move on to the next witness then. And do you want to throw it to someone else for a little bit, and we'll come
we can
back
break
to
it
the
apart.
witness? Cool.
Where do you guys want to go? Do you want to go kitchen, or do you want to go body?
Were we going for scene of death? I think we were good. Yeah, that's.
Cool.
Who's this in reference to? Sorry.
This is team us.
We were going for the body.
So, body has been moved, as you know, but walking through the house, which I'll describe the rooms when you're investigating them rather than now. It is currently in her study, which appears to also have been the heart of the fire. The mahogany desk at the center of the room is burnt black, papers and ink reduced to smears of ash and molten glass. The walls and bookshelves similarly charred, and the ceiling partially caved in, letting in kind of shafts of starlight. A metal safe in one corner seems to have withstood the fire, but is covered in soot. The room is suffused with a sad, haunted feeling, as though it was a place of great loss. Could you, the whole group, roll investigation checks against the DC of the house, and that will decide, you guys, how many points you have to try to find clues in this room.
2.
18.
18, baby.
Cool. 2 successes.
Oh wait, sorry. No, I read Luke's.
You're
roll.
19.
I'm 12.
A nat 20,
No, you're
or
19.
I'll say there's a DC for 1 and there's a DC for 2, and a nat 20 can be 3. Let's be nice. Luca and Davide, if you could roll as well.
I got a
I
16.
just did. I don't know if it went through.
Oh, what did you
I
roll?
got a 7.
A 7. Okay, you have 3 successes, so you can make 3 checks in this room. Oh, sorry. If you're looking around this room, I can describe things to you, and you might find something incidentally. If you look at something, but you have 3 points to get. If you vaguely mention something, I will give you the clue that was there.
So we spoke about the body, and the body seemed like it was the source of the fire. Was that correct?
No. This room, based on what you can see, seems to have been the heart of the fire. It is incredibly damaged, but the body itself, I'm going to use one of your points here for this question, is less charred than this room, and you in your mind think this fire wasn't set in the same place. This fire wasn't set in the place this person died. This person would be more burnt. As you look down on the charred but not entirely burnt body.
Wait, I thought you said the body had been taken away.
Shifted slightly. Sorry, it's been moved. It said to somewhere more akin.
Moved.
Yeah, moved. So you asked if the body
So
here,
when-
and it said it's been moved from where it happened to a location that basically they did not. It wasn't entirely there mentally, so it was moved to a place that reminded her of that, so the Speak with Dead spell was more successful.
Right. So the
Right.
body
Okay, so we
was
have access to the
found.
body.
So
It's-
you have access to the body. It is in this room, and that is you could more if you want. But one of your clues, we'll talk about it, is that as you're investigating. Sorry, you can start again. Maybe it's freebie then, but the body is in the study. It has,
okay,
however,
I'm
been
just
told. You've been told it's been moved. But
Right.
you notice that this room was probably where the fire started, and that wasn't where she was killed.
So we know that the body was burnt less than this room is. We know that there's a big old fire in here, and that the body has been moved. We know that much. But now the body is in the room where the fire allegedly was the worst.
Yes.
Mhm.
So as if it's been moved to the room where the fire was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we, and maybe it would be, in which case I will let Lude and Luke decide, but do we have any kind of like fire report or fire paperwork by someone who knows the difference between magical fire and mundane fire, say like a candle or a log?
Yeah, like, can we tell how it was set in this room? Is there like a pile of
Yeah.
burnt books? Is it like a fireplace? Is it, like what we see?
Looking around, I will say this uses one of your other clues. This fire was clearly started by magical means. There is no kindling. There are no areas of books that were burnt specifically, like gathered into a pile. Like any fire that burnt this viciously and this quickly and this evenly, as you kind of look at patterns, magical in nature, or started.
Well,
Usually-
it's clear that. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to follow using the same clue, if you'll allow us. Is there any way to tell what kind of level or kind of power level this fire is?
Given that the materials around it are quite flammable, it wouldn't have required a significant. It wouldn't have required like a meteor swarm or a firestorm, or like measuring for a second, like a fireball, or maybe even like.
Would you say it's a good 9d6 worth of fire damage?
I'd say that like this is a pretty decently powerful fire spell, but not like incredibly top tier. Like this isn't destruction. This is a fire that was set with the desire to burn down the house in a fire rather than destroy the house by the nature of the spell itself.
Right, okay.
So it could be a flaming sphere.
I don't know, Stefano. What do you think? Like, I mean, I get burning books because they're confusing, but like, why would you start a fire here if like somebody died somewhere else? I don't understand. Is that
Well,
a me
listen,
problem or a case
you've
problem?
said it. No, you're thinking along the right lines. You've said it out
Right.
loud. Why would you start a fire in here if the body... You're saying it already. This
Yeah.
fire here and the death of that person, presumably by fire, are not directly related.
So the body's in here, yeah?
The body has been moved to here.
Can we tell that she did die by fire?
That will be a separate check. Could you roll a medicine check for me?
I can indeed roll a medicine check with my proficiency in medicine.
Either you both can roll it, or one of you can roll with advantage.
I don't understand corpses. Can you... How did she die?
Yeah. So I got... Oh, it's wisdom. Okay, cool. I got +3 to medicine check, and I'll roll it twice in that case.
If you are receiving the help action from...
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing to help, but I guess I am.
Okay. Let's roll it once, and roll it twice. So 19.
Angelo
That's it.
occasionally just says insightful and useful things by complete accident, and that's probably the help you're getting. He's probably just pointed out something just as a random observation that's actually very pertinent.
Oh, it's
So-
going well.
Looking at the body and kind of examining it as respectfully as Stefano would, it has been charred. Burnt more than charred. It is very clearly, you're not in doubt about the fact this is probably the body of an elderly woman. You've never met Lady Donati, but clearly this would fit the profile. Hair is scorched off, kind of scars and burning across the face. clothes reduced to a crisp. However, through some of the interest on the shoulder, kind of further down, there is a gash which has now been cauterized by the fire that, with a 19, you would realize would have been caused by a sword. You don't know if this happened before or after, because obviously it's difficult to tell with a body this disturbed and affected by the fire. But somebody slashed a sword across this woman's chest.
In that case, Stefano goes, "Oh, okay." Well, steps back and goes, "What do you make of this right here?" And points to the gash.
He had a kind of cool tattoo. That's a tattoo, right?
No. Look at how the rest of the skin is burnt to a crisp. But right here, the skin falls away. In fact, the outer layer is not even there. You can see the muscle, the sinew, the way it falls away like a fresh piece of salmon.
I love salmon.
Oh, aye. We have nice salmon where I'm from, but that's besides the point. What I'm trying to say is, this is a wound. A slashing wound. Maybe a piercing wound. Nonetheless, it's a wound by a blade.
Like a knife, yeah, I get it.
Aye.
Oh. What does
So
that
either
mean?
we're going to say that somebody stabbed this poor person while they were on fire, unlikely, or they were stabbed and cut before they were burnt.
And so they were stabbed, and then they caught on fire, and then they were put here after all of that.
Hey, if you were trying to hide what you'd done to a body, it's not uncommon for somebody to try and burn the remains.
Huh.
But the takeaway,
But they were trying
Nice.
to burn books, not a person.
I think they were trying to burn both, but not together.
I don't get it. And he's just gonna look around. Why do we is there a source in this room? Can we tell if the magic was cast on anything in particular to start it? Was there anything they were trying to catch with it, like a desk or
I'll fall this under the previous one, clue. This seems to have been the center of the fire because kind of the rooms around it are kind of the most burnt. Because it's not like that. It's not like the whole house is destroyed. Like people arrived to put out the fire. It's just everything here is the most charred. It does seem to center around the bookcases.
bookcase? Okay.
Maybe we can investigate the bookcases up close.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have one more clue for this room, right?
Yes.
Well, this wouldn't necessarily be a clue. This would be us, detective, literally looking at the bookcase rather than asking a question, right?
Yeah.
So neither of you have kind of asked, and I don't know why either of you would know, but whatever books are left, either their spines or scraps of pages, much of them are burned. You begin to piece together that Lady Donati's thank you for the spelling. Research, or much of her early work or her interest, was based on Varsala, the Everlasting Isles, the ruined isles further out. The research of the history of the Lost Plane, what happened, artifacts, understanding the archaeology and the history of this little slice of Lucaia that you live in. That is what most of the books refer to, and that is what the ones that are left. But there's not a lot of substance there. Many of them have been burnt.
Can I ask? Is there like an categorization of books on the shelves, where it's just like a random book here, random book there?
It's burnt. You don't know.
Cool. So literally every book is just like powder at this point.
Most of them like reduced to like ash and smears.
And so we've not. So it's not possible to do. What I'm trying to say is not possible to deduce that there's a. Sorry,
Missing.
the state of the bookcase itself is like that's burnt through, like caved through.
Yeah. The
or...
books have like collapsed on the ground. What you're putting together is like scraps of paper that were unburnt, or like spines that were a bit more resistant. I'm going to say, based on the current situation, it is impossible to ascertain if a book was taken before this happened.
Mm. Yeah. Coming back to the body.
Yeah.
Where is the slash? Sorry.
Kind of right shoulder downwards.
Right shoulder. Sorry, right shoulder. So like my right shoulder, the person's right shoulder.
Yeah, downwards across the chest.
Right shoulder downwards. So if I was slashing someone on their right shoulder, it'd be this side. It'd be like this. So like kind of like a left-handed slash, essentially.
Maybe.
Do we know if the pink tiefling is left-handed? Historically,
You do not know if the tiefling is handed. You have not found out much information this team about Mr.
I bet Seraphima would know, though. We could find out.
So we have. So maybe can we like bank our one remaining clue?
No, you can. No.
So, Clue, what else would we ask about?
What do we want to know about
Yeah.
the study? Like,
Well, we know the body was carried here, but I suppose
the fire
because
started
somebody
here.
told us it was moved. In theory, we could just ask that person where it was moved from. That was Mr. Whatever his face is, the Lord. He's fucked off now.
No, Montague. Montague didn't move it. Right wing told you. Sorry, Silver Wing.
The Golden Order lady.
She told us, so we can go and ask her without spending one of those points
Yeah.
of interest.
So I think it's
Where the
just,
body
like,
was moved to and from.
For me, like, are there any notable artifacts or things in this room that stand out to us?
So I will say
Yeah.
to you, you have two more options in this room. You have the safe.
Oh,
Oh,
there's
fuck
Okay,
yeah.
and you,
Jesus
and you,
Christ.
and you,
Yeah,
and you,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
have the desk.
I was literally just about to say, is there a floor safe?
So you, like the safe is there.
You heard
It
me
is
talking about the
remarkably-
bookcase.
Remarkably
let's... Safe desk.
All right. Well,
Party, what do you want? Safe or desk?
well, we can look in both. But this point is like
We
a
have one clue.
blow the case wide open point. Wait, DM, are we able to check either of these irrespective?
You can
of point?
you can ask me about both of them, but I will just basically the way it works is I will just give you the information about something if you're using a point on it. Otherwise, you yourselves need to work it out. I think is what I'm trying to go with this.
Okay. All right.
Cool. Let's go look at the safe then without the need of a point.
Sick.
Cool. As you get closer and closer to the safe, so you can see it's been damaged, it's been fired up, it's been melted. You can you can see that the door has ever so slightly cleared backwards, like peeled backwards, and as you peer inside using a light to look inside, you can see that inside there is a singular old brass key.
A key. Oh, I play
Take-
video
take the
games. I
fucking-
put
yeah.
that in my inventory.
Yeah, take the
No,
fucking-
how are you getting it out? The metal door is stuck.
This is clearly a key item.
Oh man, that's kind of cool. Can I pick the safe up? Can I just
Yeah.
hold the safe?
You can hold the safe, yeah.
I'm gonna pick up the safe.
Okay,
And be like,
cool.
I think we should have this. Doesn't it seem like kind of important?
It is fantastic evidence, but I
Yeah.
imagine there's even more valuable evidence inside.
No, but like there's a key in there, but I can't get it out because the door's stuck. So I'm just gonna take the safe and maybe, I don't know, can you
So-
open the door?
Dim, is the safe operated by like a
Yeah.
code system or a key system?
A code system, but it's semi-melted, and you reckon enough physical force might be able to just break it open at this point. Or you could try to work out the combination.
Can I try rattle the door?
You can try a strength check to open the door, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. On that note, before Clive makes a strength check, DM, because of my background, would I be any chance privy to a crowbar?
Yeah, sure. I can give you advantage on this check.
In that case, you see, fuck's my character's name again?
Stefano.
Stefano. I was going to be like Stavros. Stefano reaches inside and pulls out a little pack and puts it on the floor and folds it and goes, "It's been a while, but I'd suggest you..." Sort of looks along the straight of it. "Use one of these," and hands it to you. He hands you a crowbar.
Oh, God. He hits the top of the safe with it. So is it advantage or
Advantage with a strength check, yes, please.
It's a 1, isn't it?
So it's advantage. There's a natural 1 and a 4 minus 1.
Yeah, no, you strain, you hit, it does not move.
Yeah,
"That's not what you use it for, God, by the gods," and he snatches it from you. He snatches
Oh.
it quick.
It's mine now.
Alright.
And there is a desk, right?
This is how you use a crowbar, and this is he'd like attempt to leverage the. If you think that's fair, DM, it's up to you.
Yeah, just the DC will be higher, so you make a straight check this time. Sorry, with
Fair.
advantage again, but the DC is higher because you failed the first time.
Cool. So an athletics check, right?
No, just strength.
Straight strength. Ain't make no difference to me. That comes out as a 14, which I probably don't make it at this point.
I don't.
Well, there's always methods to debalance the pins. Have you ever used one of these? And he pulls out thieves' tools.
Is that a hairpin?
Say again.
Is that a hairpin?
It is a hairpin, but this is what you call a rake, and this is what you call a single pick, and this is what you call it. And then he's going through various types of picks. And this
Could
is
you make
just
a
a
check
piece.
with your thieves' tools?
I can do this. This is tools, proficiency times dexterity. This is +4.
Yep.
Okay. 11.
Not successful. Unfortunately, the slight melting has caused the innards of this to break or twist slightly beyond your normal understanding. However, you could probably still carry it out, and the rest of your party may be able to help you or assist you in some different way. But together combined, you seem not to be able to deal with this right now.
Yeah, and just the desk. Like, I know you can't tell us anything about it, but like, is there anything of note on it?
Burnt to a crisp.
Okay.
You could attempt to have a look through the drawers or do anything there.
Yeah, I'll have a rifle.
We should do that.
We should do
Cool.
that.
Could you make a dexterity saving throw for me?
What?
Oh, Lord Jesus!
A natural
Leave
20?
that maybe.
Oh!
Okay.
Oh.
As you open
I,
it up,
use it like at the safe as a shield, and like whatever comes out, whatever it is, just like bat it away with
Yeah.
like crazy reflexes.
as you open it up, and there were like poison dart shoots into the back of the wall behind you, and you turn around and you see like it inject venom, and like a little green drop comes down the wall.
Ooh!
The, like edge of the safe door.
DM. I have proficiency in a poisonous kit. May I inspect the dart?
Yeah, this is. You can tell. It's not poison that necessarily you've seen before. Roll a nature check.
Cool. Nature, medicine. I got proficiency in both, I think. I can do nature. Yeah, cool. Why is it not showing up? Oh no, I don't have proficiency in that, so it's +2 anyway. Cool. So, but with advantage because of the poisonous kit, right?
No, you just add your proficiency, right? So nature check.
For nature check, it's like when you combine a tool with a skill check, it gives you advantage on the check.
Sure, go for it then.
Cool. So let's roll this twice. Wash. 6 and a 5. Well, you choose. Hey.
Yeah, you're not sure of the poison.
What's the
Yeah, I'm
desk?
not. Make a
So
constitution saving.
I would say based on the cumulative rolls, unfortunately the desk is kind of charred, and as you continue to look through, maybe looking for a secret compartment or something, you are unfortunately unsuccessful. And we will jump to Luca in the kitchen. Could all of you please roll investigation checks?
I can find so many sandwiches.
It's a 7, no, 12 from your boy.
Well,
17.
17.
God damn it.
10.
10. Sorry, Clue, what was your check?
13.
13. You have 2 successes here. So, as you approach the kitchen, it suffered minor fire damage. It's one of the more intact places within this house. Its large fireplace, where cooking would have taken place, ironically seems to have contained the fire to some extent. The long wooden table in the center is covered in soot and a thin layer of ash, and some of the wooden cabinets have scorch marks. Pots and pans are scattered across the floor, and there is a lingering smell of burnt food mixing with the smell of the fire's destruction.
Luca is immediately a little flustered. The idea that everything might be burned. Yeah, I guess the first thing he does is probably check the pantry.
Some bits, right? You could just roll a d20 for me, just straight
Sure,
d20
just
for a
a
few.
straight
bites.
D20. All right.
I will say, by the way, that should you not wish to actually investigate, you can bank these 2 for the kitchen and other people.
I'll do some investigating, but like it's priorities. You know?
13. Okay. So a lot of the more perishable stuff and a lot of the more fragile stuff has gone, but you managed to find the pantry where meat has been secured to the ceiling, and presumably this was being dried out or in some way left over. It is now very, very nicely smoked, and smells excellent. And you begin, I'm sure, you can choose if you wish to eat
Eats one and holds 2.
holds 2. Excellent.
Yeah. Okay.
Looking around
and
the
while
kitchen-
he's eating, he does a quick search. What does he see? Like just scans the room.
Okay, scanning the room, there are marks on the floor, footprints. There are several boots that you ascertain looking down. There are probably 3 or maybe 4 people trudged in here after the fire had begun. That's what the marks on the floor seem to begin.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to go through one way and then back out the other. So came in, came out.
Do they
And,
sense towards anything, or do I have to use a point to?
that is a point, so you can continue to investigate stuff here. These marks.
So can I get more of an insight into the other potential things that could be interesting, and then choose to?
I would say, looking at this room, where these are, you could either investigate some of the shelves, you could investigate the table itself, or you could investigate the cooker and the drawers. So the shelves, table, cooker, and drawers.
How many points?
You have 1 more. So you've used 1 to ascertain, and you can ask more about the footprints. You can ask more about the footprints, about like.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
they are.
Okay, so I'd like to find out more about the footprint. Like, are they heading anything in particular?
Yeah,
and
so
then
the footprints seems to have come in through the front door, and then they're heading up towards what you would believe, based on the outlook, would have been where Kazimir reportedly was staying, and then leaving that out that way.
Okay. Could I
It
follow
looks to
the?
I will say that if you leave this room, and we will come back to it later.
Each point is per room, right?
Yeah. So should you go to each one of these places,
So,
you'll
so
get a
the
new
options
set
were
of room.
table, shelves, cooker.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess cooker. Checks the cooker.
Okay. As you're over to the cooker, you open up some of the drawers, and there's some well-preserved meat that presumably would have been cooked for dinner. You notice that there seems to be portions set for 2, presumably that it was expected that there would be 2 eating tonight, or tomorrow, whenever this food was meant to be served. And you also open up another one of the shelves, and presumably this has been used to just put stuff that they didn't know where else to put. And there are a bunch of letters inside. These are all party invites to, you recognize some of the names as to various houses, and presumably some servant has just tucked them in here to keep them out of the way, or they were used for kindling or to start a fire. And actually glancing over at the fireplace, you see these are here. The letters continuously came in for Lady Tori Donatati, and a +1. I'm going to keep getting the pronunciation wrong, and that's fine.
That's funny.
Victoria Donati.
Victoria Donati. Okay, he just can I not pocket but just hold one of the bunch of letters with greasy fingers, please?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Alright, so he wants to then follow the footprints. He's going to follow the footprints.
Reading the letter, it is commented that it is a shame that the lady herself can rarely attend, but her guests are always appreciated and interesting.
Her guests or guest?
Guests, for the plural.
Okay.
Cool. We will go back to the interrogation, and then we'll have a break, and then we will reconvene the party as Luca attempts to walk upstairs to another room, and then we'll probably have the party together for this. So if that's okay with everybody, so like 5-10 minute break. As we go back to Davide and Marco, and the butler, Bernardo Blackthorn, separated from Serafina. You can always come back to these, but he's kind of standing there prim and proper and looks at you and says, good evening.
Sorry, I thought we were taking a 5-10 minute break.
After
is that
this
now or after?
No,
this?
after the interrogation.
Oh, okay. Right. So first of all, Marco turns over his shoulder to make sure that Davide is still there. She's not wandered off somewhere.
No, she's still there.
Okay. So he turns to Bernardo. Bernardo, can you please give us your account of what happened the evening that Lady Vittoria Venati was found dead?
This evening, you mean, correct?
Yes.
Well, young Master Kazimir departed at around 7:30, late as normal, and I was left to escort Lady Venati back up to her quarters. I dressed her, fed her as normal, and looked after her until Mr. Crossley reappeared at approximately 10 o'clock.
Sorry, he appeared via a teleport spell?
No. He reappeared at approximately 10 o'clock.
At approximately 10?
Yes.
And did you speak to him at 10?
Yes, I asked him how the party was. He said that it had gone well, but he needed to retrieve something. He went to his room and swiftly left.
Did you see what he retrieved?
I did not know.
Did you see him approach Lady Vittoria's room at any point?
No, I did not. I then put the lady to bed and went home, at which point I was resummoned.
You said that you put her to bed before he arrived at 10, and then you put her to bed again?
Simply, I was there watching her, and then left, making sure she was in bed and safe.
Right.
She was, apologies, in need of much assistance, especially in the evenings.
Can you describe her relationship with the young Master Crossley?
Despite my better judgments, he was an immense positive force on her. He returned some of the youthful vigor, invigorated her, in fact, that I didn't see in quite some time, and she would talk to him endlessly about artifacts, history, magic. I didn't understand most of it, but it was pleasing to see her happy.
Do you think, would the young Kazimir have any sort of motive for hurting Lady Victoria?
He was an odd one. I frankly wouldn't put it past him, but I suppose I would always ask why now. It's been a long time he's been staying here.
How long has he been staying here?
He would have arrived about 5 years ago.
And can you describe your relationship with young Master Crossley?
Fraught at best. He was demanding, and unnecessarily demanding, I feel, in particular. But, we all put up with his shortness and rudeness because he made the lady so happy.
I'm sorry. Could you just... Are you quite sure that he arrived 5 years ago?
It might have been 6.
But it was a period of time certainly longer than 1 week or so.
Certainly, I've been dealing with him for more than a week.
Have you had any other guests staying here in the past week?
Past week, no. Occasionally, long lost family members would drop by. Not distant family members, sorry. Occasional researcher looking to read some of the books, distant artifacts, but not in the past week, no.
Do you know why he went to the party this evening?
He goes to lots of parties. I don't specifically know why this one was special.
And do you know anyone who may have held a grudge or wished harm upon the young Lord Kazimir?
It's odd. I speak to several people, and I would expect, given the way Lumhart tailors him, he would be more the talk of the town. I have enemies and friends alike, but whenever I've mentioned him to a waiter or someone serving one of these parties, I don't mix with those who attend. There's no mention of him. Strange. Not something I give much thought to, but I'm sure it's of keen interest to you now.
Did he have many friends? Family? Acquaintances?
He
Visitors?
left the house often, but no one ever came. No.
And we understand that he was a practitioner of magic. Did you ever see the magic?
I certainly saw evidence of magic. He had odd artifacts or books delivered to his room. I saw the occasional drawing from inside when I was ringing him, whatever his latest request was, or sigil on the ground. He certainly used it to puff up his hair or clean whatever speck of invisible dust was on his clothes. So, yes, I can confirm he was a practitioner of magic, but not a powerful one that I saw evidence of.
What about fire? Did you ever see him make fire with magic?
Must have done, but...
Why do you say that?
Well, he was always showing off a little bit for my late mistress. Having windows shut, sparks, spells. Enjoyed it. I'm sure fire was a regular trick, but not one that was notable to me.
So you're not that surprised that some people concluded that he set the fire that burned down the house?
I said I wouldn't put it past him, but it is odd to me.
In what way?
Well, like I said, why now? Why tonight? Sure, I don't know where your background is from, but if I'd found a sweet, doting old lady who asked nothing from me other than my company, and in exchange I got to live in a beautiful mansion and order the servants around, I wouldn't pass it up for nothing.
Right, and because it's 5 years.
Well, it's a long time. Why make a move now? What's different?
And you don't have any idea as to the answer of that question.
Not off the top of my head. I will think about it for you, but obviously
No.
tonight is difficult.
Don't worry.
Bernardo, can you please account to us your whereabouts for the rest of the evening?
Certainly, I was home with my family.
And
That's where I
can
was
we?
retrieved from.
And will we be able to receive a alibi from your family for this evening?
Course. And I was dragged from them. They do not know about my whereabouts, and you are welcome to interview them before I return home.
Excellent, thank you. Any other questions, Davide?
I just one more question. I think. What are there any magical protections in the house?
Yes. There were certainly areas of the house where we were told to avoid for our protections versus everybody else. The laboratory and Mr. Crossley's personal room. I suspect if the fire has not damaged them too much, I would be careful in those rooms.
I see. But what I'm saying is there's no reason that someone could, using magic, enter and leave the house, say through teleportation.
Oh, I don't know. I am not a practitioner of such arts.
Because I'm right in thinking, I think you said this earlier, you didn't see anyone come or go that evening, save for the people that you've mentioned.
No. Mr. Crossley left for his event at House Fortemps as normal, and he returned and swiftly left again.
And after he left for the second time, you put the lady to bed, and she was alive at that point.
Yes.
Well, I think that's everything I wanted to ask. Thank you, Marco.
Okay. So you can all, I think, given don't want to split the session up between groups too much, I will say you can all reconvene as you see Luca begin to ascend the stairs to Kazimir's study room and talk about what you found and make your decisions about where to go from here. I would say we can continue playing. Like I can go probably until 11, or we can all talk about this during the break. And we will have a short break for 10 minutes now if everyone can be back at 25-2. Thank you, and the mystery continues.
Maestro,
Hello, everybody.
bring that jazz in.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. The group are investigating a murder and an arson. They so far have arrived, interviewed witnesses, talked to their captain, kind of, in Ilaria Silverwing, talked to the son of essentially their boss, and investigated so far a study where they have looked at the body, found a safe. They have talked to both the butler and the in-house tailor. They have also investigated to some extent the kitchen, and they are left with the laboratory, Kazimir's room, the library, and the entrance hall to investigate. The party have reconvened in the kitchen as Luca is about to head upstairs, and I would perhaps advise you share your findings with each other, your suspicions if there are any, before you continue to investigate the house. And I would say let's not split the party too much from now on, please. I would appreciate it.
Mastermind Aaron had some good thinkings during the break. Do you wanna share those thoughts?
Yeah, so it's pretty clear from so let's say that I am sharing this with the group in character, but I'm just gonna speak normally just for ease. To me, it's pretty clear that Kazimir didn't do it. The witnesses that we've spoken to have both kind of accounted for his character, saying that he had a good relationship with Lady Vittoria. He, made her really happy. She was like providing him, room and board, and like he had access to, books and artifacts and everything he could potentially want here. He doesn't really seem to have any motive to kill her. Also, we currently don't know exactly what time of the evening she died. The butler said that he put her to bed around 10, and that was around the time that Kazimir came back. So we need to actually know where she was actually murdered, because her body was moved to the room that was set on fire. And also what we've learned from the group is that she's been killed with a slash wound, which doesn't match the modus that apparently Kazimir had killed some people with 10 years ago. Apparently he had killed some people with magic.
Shall we say that you all reconvened and you spread the information amongst yourselves so everybody knows everything that's happened,
Yes.
and you're now discussing it in character? Great.
Yeah.
This is our conclusion.
Yeah, this is our conclusions, yeah. What we are now wondering is, if Kazimir didn't kill her, who benefits from her death? Is it one of Lady Vittoria's beneficiaries? For example, does she have a will, and does she have a jilted son who is wanting to get his money and is annoyed that Kazimir is living in the house? Is that the situation? Or has Kazimir made an enemy and that person just wants to exact revenge on Kazimir? The other thing that's extremely suspicious right now is the Speak with Dead transcript that we received from the captain at the beginning of the session. The transcript said that Vittoria was killed by a pink tiefling, Kazimir Crossley, who has only stayed here a week and who forced her to let him into the house, and she doesn't know why he went to the party, which doesn't make any sense because both of the witnesses have said that he has lived here for over 5 years and that they were good friends. They spent a lot of time together. He made her very happy, so why would he force his way into the house? And also, it sounds like that she was predominantly kind of unable to walk or move around much on her own, potentially bedridden, or maybe kind of stuck in her living quarters. So it would have been more likely that the butler would have let the guest into the house instead. Finally, he was a regular attendee to parties, so asking, I don't know why he would go to a party, or saying that doesn't also line up either with what she would probably know of Kazimir. So to me, it seems like whoever created this fake transcript is probably our lead at the moment. Why would someone create a fake transcript and have access in order to give that to Captain Alara Silverwing? So I think we probably want to, first of all, find out where did she get that transcript from, who gave it to her, and find out if we can redo the Speak with Dead spell but actually witness it this time, because something's not quite right there. Quick D&D question, Jamie. If someone is before they are killed, if some sort of like mind control or memory rewriting spell is used on them before they are killed, would they then think they are speaking truthfully when they do a Speak with Dead spell and say, yes, it was Kazimir who killed me, because they've like had a mind wipe type thing? Like, is that how complicated things can get, or would be?
Wait, can they lie and speak with Dead? Maybe they can't.
So they can't lie with Speak with Dead, but they do retain their personality and they cannot give the information if they choose to. However, I will say that they retain the...
No, they can lie. The corpse
So they
is
can't-
under
oh,
no
shit.
compulsion to offer a truthful answer if you're hostile to it or it recognizes
enough.
you as an enemy.
Apologies
Interesting.
for that. So I would
Okay.
say that any enchantments or spells on someone end when they die, so someone can give a truthful response based on the information they had or would have had under the effect of no illusion or charm during that time. So if they believe, illusion is probably a good example of like something they would still say. So if somebody illusioned a massive minotaur smacking them in the face, they'd probably still believe that happened. But if they were under the modified memory charm, that would end upon their death.
For sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So now
I will
that
check the official ruling somewhere for that in a bit. That's my ruling right now that you can deal with.
Okay,
now
so
we know Eren has more brain cells than the rest of us.
so what I'm getting from this clarification then is that even if someone had illusioned themselves to make them look like Kazimir Crossley and also modified memory to her to say he's only been staying here a week, he forced you to let him into the house, that would be wiped once she died. And although she would still think Kazimir killed him, she would remember that he's lived there for 5 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes, correct. The illusion would still work, the other one wouldn't. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay, so to me, it sounds like this Speak with Dead transcript is fake as hell. We need to find out who wrote it.
So
Well, as
as
somebody
Angela-
who is... go ahead.
just as Angelo listens to all of this, he just sort of blinks and says, "Whoa, that's so complicated. Should we just ask? Because that seems like, I mean, the order gave us the transcript, right? I mean, they know everything, so we can probably just ask them and it's fine."
They were definitely cooking for two. He said,
We were
No,
cooking.
no, it's impossible that the transcript was falsified. Can you even begin to think of the penalties for falsification of an official document? It is absurd to think an officer of the guard would alter or edit a transcript in a malicious way.
Davide, have you ever falsified a document before?
Of course not.
Well, not everybody in the guard is like you. In fact,
What do you mean?
it's a particularly valuable skill to have. You know, to do certain things that are against the law. It sometimes helps to have had, shall we say, insider knowledge.
Oh, like if you were like a criminal and then you became a policeman, you'd totally be a better policeman because you like knew things about how to break the law, right? Not that you obviously
Well,
are, but like if you
No,
were.
me, of course. No.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, let's just say I have a wee eye for document forgery. I'm particularly good at comparing the details of an authentic document versus a forged one.
Is it forged? Like, is it fake? Because if it's fake, we should
Exactly.
definitely. Because she really needs to know that her Speak with Dead priest is also. But we can arrest them too.
You're cutting out ever so
Because-
slightly, Clued. I think we got most of that, though.
Oh, I'll move it here.
I think it's you're freezing rather than it being
Yeah.
your microphone's too far
Mhm.
away.
Yeah, my internet is.
I think we got the gist though, for sure.
Yeah.
We don't know who forged it, and we don't who's telling the truth about what they know about such documents. All we can do is have a look.
Well, I, for one, already know the answer. It must be with the priests. I have heard of a corrupt priest. I have never heard of a corrupt guard. That is just unheard of.
How long have you been in the force, Davide?
Are you serious?
Well, this will be my coming up to my 1 year anniversary in 14 days.
Marco gently pats Davide atop the head. Says, there, kiddo, you'll get there one day. And he will walk off towards where Captain Alara Silverwing went.
Wait, get where?
Well, let's just say there's more places to be in the guard than in the evidence room.
Yes, like the interview room, or the main locker, or the gym.
Or reality. Let's go.
Alright, where are you heading?
So we're gonna go find Captain Alara Silverwing. I think she was outside. We spoke to her before we went into the house.
Yep, she is still standing outside, coldly watching you as you walk back up.
All right.
Is
So
your
I'll approach her.
investigation complete?
No, not quite. Do you have the Speak with Dead transcript handy? We'd like to re-examine it.
Yes, of course. Takes it out and hands it to you.
And he'll immediately just pass it off to Stefano to have a look at.
What check would you like
Stefano.
to roll?
I would like to make an investigation check with the benefit of proficiency in forgery.
Sure. If you wish to receive the help action, you may have advantage.
I think with the... Will I get advantage anyway?
We can
Let's
say
actually-
there's somebody giving you
let's
advantage. David can
Okay,
help
cool.
you out, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was about to say
Sure.
fraud and detecting fraud and forgery seems like right up my alley, so I'll give the help action.
While they're doing
Yeah,
this,
thanks.
I'd like to ask Alaris a couple of questions before they reveal whether they think it's forged or not.
Very well. You guys
Um,
can make your roll and let me know. We'll start with that then.
I'd like to watch her very intently in this conversation. Not because Angelo has enough brain cells to understand anything, but just because he thinks she's cool and likes to watch members of the Order. But maybe I'll pick up something insightful.
Just because
Nice.
she's cool.
Yeah, sure. Luke, I will message you. However, so that I'm trying like these. I'm not remembering these characters for one session. I'm
Marco.
sorry. Marco. You can go on.
So Marco will ask her, Captain, who is it who handed you this transcript?
I'm unsure of their name, but a representative of the priestly order of the personal regiment of High Plato, His Excellency Ptolemy III.
And in layman's English, is that the same order that Kazimir was accused of murdering someone 10 years ago?
Yeah.
And secondly, do you have the name of the particular priest who carried out the Speak with Dead spell?
Could you roll a persuasion check for me?
Sure. That is a 19. Marco's a high roller. Dan.
Her name was Kim Greysteel, I believe.
It's down. All right. Okay.
How does she look answering these questions, DM?
At this point, with your passive insight, I'd say this is more active, but that's fine.
May I roll an active insight?
You may roll a active insight should you wish.
Okay. 19.
She seems curious why you're asking these questions, but not any other emotions right now. No, there's no deception, there's no uncertainty in her voice. She is asking your questions as a formality and presumes you are doing the expected level of paperwork, but slightly concerned about your interest in this Kim Greysteel.
And finally, if we were to ask you to describe the representative who handed you this transcript, would you be able to describe them?
Yes, I would be able to. She was dressed in the robes as you would expect, aging, fairly dignified, about 5'9", slender build, hair thinning and white but quite long, warm amber eyes, deeply wrinkled skin, but wearing resplendent, ornate vestments, testament to a long life of servitude. Gold and white, adorned with intricate depictions of our long and storied history, the signet of the personal guard to High Plato, His Excellency Ptolemy III, and a radiant sun on her chest.
And you're like commander of the guard, right? You're like head of his personal forces.
Yes, if you so wish it, I could summon her here.
Oh my god, you're like her boss. You're like the boss. What's the Praetor like? Is he really cool?
I don't think of him in such terms.
I don't understand.
That's a no.
He he is the guiding spirit by what we live by. We would not ask what the sun was like.
Absolutely not in that case.
Very well. Would you be able to summon the delivery person that you've just described, and also Kim Greysteel herself?
Sorry, to be clear, Kim Greysteel delivered the report to me. I was describing her. I think there might have been some confusion there.
Sorry, who was the priest that
No, so the priest and the
did
delivery
the
person,
spell.
same person. Same person.
Same person. Right, I see. My bad. Okay.
So I think it might have been my bad as well. I think she says,
No problem.
absolutely, I will happily bring her here if she is probably with the High Praetor now. I will be several minutes.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right.
Detective,
Just goes to leave.
I know.
you forgot to get what species?
A dwarf.
They said it would be a little while. Do we want to keep on our searching while they bring her over?
Well, I
Sounds good
believe
to me.
there is some information to reveal on behalf of Mr. Stefano about the document. Undoubtedly.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Indeed, Stefano. Well, I have some deeply unsettling news. It's legit. Document's legit.
Interesting. Okay.
I
It'll be-
knew they would never falsify a requisition form for a Speak with Dead. A night form as well. A night form!
Wait, so like the piece of paper is obviously real, right? I mean, it's a piece of paper and the right person's written on it and signed it. But that doesn't mean that the words are real, right?
Aye.
Exactly.
Did that make sense?
It did, Angela.
Wow.
We'll speak to Kim when she arrives. It'll be interesting to understand the circumstances of the spell.
Fraud!
By the gods, are you a warforged? Can somebody turn him off?
I'm a she!
Yeah, them. I corrected. Well, what we do have, speaking of machine, a safe. A safe in bad condition, but a safe that is still, until now, safe.
Yeah,
Need
it's,
to get
it's
inside.
really heavy. I'm just carrying it, but my arms are tired. Help.
I've tried picking the lock. We've tried a crowbar. I don't know what else to try,
There's
other
a
than
key.
taking it back.
There's a key inside. I really want it.
How did your picking attempt go, Stefano?
That's you.
Stefano?
Luke.
That's you.
We don't even know what our
Sorry,
own names
I was just checking my character sheet quickly.
No,
What's
it's not
the
me. That's all I know.
How did your lock picking attempt go earlier? Like, did you roll high or low when you tried before?
It went okay. It's honestly older than I'm used to, believe it or not. Also, my knowledge on these things is actually quite dated, but this is it's a vintage piece.
Hmm.
Somebody else, if they've got the skills, is welcome to try.
Well, we can just hit it really hard.
So, out of character, I have no proficiency in sleight of hand, although I do have proficiency in thieves' tools. So, probably should have edited my character sheet a bit more. Does anyone here have sleight of hand proficiency?
No.
I have it, but Steve's Tools is like its own check. It's basically just parallel to sleight of hand.
Oh, is it just your dexterity plus your proficiency for thieves' tools?
You have proficiency
Yeah.
in tool, yeah.
Oh,
If
okay.
you
In
have
that
proficiency
case,
tool, yeah.
So I think we can all just pop off.
I only played a rogue for 2 years. I should remember this stuff.
Oh yeah.
But someone else can assist you if they've got their. I mean, it can be me, it can be someone else.
Indeed.
I do as well. I mean,
We all have it. We're all rogues. It comes with the territory.
Who here's the most dexterous amongst us all?
15.
15.
I mean, I think Luca makes quite a few sandwiches, so he's
16.
probably quite good at it now.
Wait, someone got a 16?
13.
By 15.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
go off, kings.
Give me a
Who's rolling what for what? Who's trying to
Give me a with a long enough lever, and I shall move Varsala. A simple application of the physics of this problem, and we will open the safe lickety split.
Alright, Davide?
Who's
Be my
got
guest.
a rod or piece of metal of some kind?
Crowbar is still to hand, I imagine.
And he chucks it to you. Do you catch?
No, it either hits me or falls on the ground.
Maybe a combination of the two.
Maybe a combination of the two. Oh, okay. She picks it up and kind of gingerly goes over to the point of weakest resistance, i.e. the connection between the melted.
Yep. Are you making a strength check then? Try to open up.
I will try. Yes.
As you try, Ben, can I ask why the sound of crows is ringing very heavily through your microphone?
Yeah, good question. That was quite atmospheric.
We have a murder of crows in our back garden, so...
Yeah, what can I say? They ominous days are upon us.
This ominous warning, can I check the safe for traps before she wrenches it open and kills herself?
The true rogue. Right up there.
Hey, you know it.
Yep. So that you can make your check, and you can make your check, Ben, with advantage.
Cool.
Thank you.
Does anyone want to help me check for traps? Perhaps Stefano, maybe? Little cheeky advantage?
Complies.
Yeah. Cool.
I did nearly.
I rolled so poorly. Okay, it's a 12 for check for traps.
From what you understand or can see, there are no traps. This safe is damaged beyond repair. There are no traps that would have survived this. You can see inside it, for heaven's sake. Surely there's nothing.
I got a natural 18 on strength.
Wow,
crap.
okay.
Whoa!
Look, as you
girl.
kind of pick your angle, get a little bit of help from somebody else to the bar and pick a weak point, the door of it slides off, pringed by you, and inside you see the keep along with an inscription on the side of the door, written in a language that some of you may or may not speak. Does anyone speak Celestial?
I'm an ASMR!
I do, yes, because I'm a nerd.
Same. I'm also an ASMR.
Angelo and Marco.
Right.
Oh boy.
I can post this to someone who can hopefully write it down afterwards. In empty hall so grand, seek the gaze that roams the land.
Seek the
In
gaze.
the globe,
Seek
in
the
the
gaze
globe
that
of
roams the
maps
land.
and
Gays, that's
lore,
Pride Month.
In-
That's us.
in the globe of maps and lore, a secret waits behind closed doors. Through the eyes of distant shores, turn the globe and learns what yours. Beneath the stars, where shadows creep, the hand of he in silence sleeps. Whisper soft, an ancient name of he who wore the hand of flame. The wall will part, the path reveal, but only to the heart that's steel. The vault of echoes, dark and cold, guarded by the knights of old. Their spectral gaze, a challenge wrought, to prove your worth, or leave with naught. With hand outstretched, reach through the night, seize the gauntlet, grasp the might. But wary be, for powers dark can consume the feeble heart. I will
Jamie.
paste this somewhere, yes.
This
I feel like
is
I've
a
worked out
one-shot,
the 50%
right?
of that.
There's a one shot.
I feel like
yeah.
just doing one of those verses is gonna take us like an hour to decrypt. So that's
No,
like
you
no,
spin a
it's
globe,
content.
we spin a
It's
globe,
calm.
say a name, a door
calm,
opens,
it's
and you
calm, it's
walk
calm,
in.
it's calm.
easy.
Angelo
It's
just
calm. We
blinks
got-
and says, gaze?
Clue,
And that's
could you,
all he has
could
to
you,
say.
Clue,
Wow.
could you post that into party chat? This is the
We have to
disadvantage of
find-
running the
Oh my
stream. I can't
God.
post stuff.
Wait, post that whole thing into party, into chat. You think I transcribed all of that just then?
Oh wait, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. I've not edited the version. So don't look at it. Don't
You
look at it.
didn't?
Jamie,
Wait.
if you open up Discord in a web browser,
That's-
you can.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I will not Discord in a web browser. Okay, you will see that. It's a poem you don't understand at this point. I will say right now, you all don't understand
you
that
think.
poem, and after discussion, you're like, oh fuck, we need to search the rest of the house to understand what this might mean. Like, I will leave it there.
Can we time skip until after we've solved it and then just like, get on
Next
with it?
time
time-
out and
okay.
now.
One shot.
So next campaign, I'm
Erin.
playing an int character, so maybe if we fast forward to them.
Aaron, listen, I've solved it already. You
Have you?
fast forward to the boss fight.
Oh, babes, you're the best. Okay,
It's
what's the
literally,
solution?
you literally don't have enough information to solve this right now. Is what the
Okay,
DM is
no,
fucking
no,
I
telling you.
believe in
Information
Luke.
points, is that what
Luke's
we're
a
talking about?
genius.
Yo, let's
Yeah,
go
no, I got
up the
this.
stairs and look in this room.
I believe.
But is this a red herring though? Because is this poem going to tell us who killed this lady?
No, this is some shit in a.
It's just
safe.
gonna guess.
It
Thanos'
was
It was
daughter.
him.
It was
He
where the
did do
fire
it.
started. It's where the fire started, though. So maybe it's like something important. But anyway, let's be looking at rooms, I guess.
I'm gonna try
She
to
was
place
in-
this. in-
She was interested. He killed her with her agreement so that he could find the treasure, then set the room on fire to go into the vault through the bookshelf.
What?
Damn, that's a theory.
And to get through the bookshelf, you have to go to the suit of armor. You have to pull its gauntlet or take the sword. It's either the gauntlet or the might. We'll see.
And R plus L equals J.
Okay, you guys,
Spoilers!
are you guys ready to go and investigate
believe-
the rest?
I can't believe you're expecting me to use my brain during Pride Month. That's actually homophobic.
Yeah.
Like,
So we
Just-
were following footsteps up the staircase.
I
Do
just
you want
the
to go?
answer.
Do you want to investigate the entrance hall, Kazimir's room, the laboratory?
Entrance hall, fuck it, we're there. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go.
Go there.
Interesting.
Entrance
We're
hall. Great.
Yeah.
As the party you step through, you see the grand double doors of House Donati. They are greeted by a once magnificent entrance hall. The marble floor is covered in soot and ashes, and the chandelier hanging from the ceiling has partially melted, causing the crystal pieces to scatter across the floor. The fire has blackened the walls, making it difficult to appreciate the opulence that once was. An armor set, once a proud symbol of the house, is now twisted and charred sentinel. The smell of burnt wood and fabric lingers heavily. There are tapestries up on the wall, there are paintings, there are various bookshelves here, and a staircase leading down to the kitchen and up to the rest of the rooms. What do you as a party choose to investigate? Can I have investigation checks from everyone, please?
Natural 20, brother.
That is an extra
Yo.
3 clues.
oh no.
I got a
I am the brains of the party, after all.
I
A
rolled a
dirty
9.
20, baby.
4,
16.
5.
Oh my
Uh,
god, we
Aaron?
got everything, boys.
Y'all
Aaron, sorry, what's
geniuses.
your score?
9.
Nope.
We're reinvigorated.
Davide.
I also got the same. A
Okay,
fat
so
9.
you have 5 clues in this room.
Okay,
To give you more of an
we've
overview,
got?
there are ashes, there are markings on the floor. So in terms of things to investigate, there is the staircase. There is the suit of armor. There is markings on the floor. There are the bookshelves themselves. There are the portraits, and finally, there is the chandelier. 6 things, 5 clues.
Chandelier. Start with that. It's the most important. Oh, sorry. But maybe. But what if? Could be.
Portrait?
So we're in the hall, right?
The entrance hall of the house. Yes.
In the empty hall so grand, seek the gaze that roams the land. There was anything taxidermy, sorry?
Gaze.
Any gay things?
Us?
Actually, we are the gays that roam the land.
Oh, the chandelier, sorry, the gaze, the light cast upon the land.
Portraits, Roman, looking at the other
Indeed.
paintings of landscapes.
There are
Paintings of
portraits
people,
of landscapes. There are portraits of people. Yes.
Is there a portrait of somebody looking at a landscape?
Yes.
Oh, is like the portrait facing a... Ooh.
I want to use some clues to look at the gays roaming the land.
Yeah, agreed.
So, as you look at one of the portraits, you specifically, Angelo, could you make a charisma saving throw for me?
Oh, dog.
What?
Are the eyes like cut out and there's someone behind looking at us?
14.
Scooby-Doo.
You will watch as the person in the painting turns to Angelo, and Angelo is sucked inside the painting. Angelo, you are standing inside the painting. You look up at the person next to you who is staring out. You look out at the landscape, and you look out and you see the rest of the guards standing there.
Huh?
Guys,
Angelo is now inside the painting.
am
Uh-oh.
I dead?
In the dragon's name.
Hello?
You just hear a wet slap as like a little bit of meat just hits the floor as Lucas is kind of gasped and open mouth is just staring at this at what just happened.
Can I hear them? Can they hear me?
No.
Yes.
Am I moving in the painting?
Yeah, you're moving in the painting, yeah.
If I touch
As you walk
thing.
off frame, you come back on the other side of the frame.
Am I to scale?
Yeah, to the painting's frame.
I'm gonna wave to Angelo so he knows that we can see him. I give a thumbs up.
Can I touch the painting?
Yeah, you can make a Christmas saving throw too.
Damn it!
Oh god, everyone's gonna get sucked in. I mean, that's one way to end the one shot on time.
Have you solved
Critical
a
failure.
crime?
Why me? No! I got the same number! Come on!
Davide is inside now as well.
What's inside this painting?
There is a painting of perhaps, presumably, a younger female member of House Donati who is staring out across the land.
In the study of maps and lore, secret waits behind closed
Davide
doors.
just screams. She just screams. It's shrill.
The rest of you, this is vaguely horrifying. You're all like,
Not
"Oh
very
shit! How the fuck
dignified.
do we get
So-
these guys out of here?"
Davide, is it you and I in this painting?
Yeah.
Oh, we're dead.
Screaming.
Can we hear them talking in the painting?
I won't.
It's
I
like
won't.
No, you can't. No, you can see them though. You
Three-dimensional
can see the screaming.
space.
Marco's
No, you're
laughing.
2D right now.
So, like, when I look to my, just nothing, because
Like
no
I could, like suspend
depth.
disbelief. You can kind of just about see.
so I just know that I'm in a flat plane. It's like I'm lying down, and I just have okay.
Yeah.
There's a 2D woman next to you that I speak to.
Does
Ooh, and a real life
young
anime girl.
Naughty, if I'm like,
You cut out a little bit.
Oh, okay. I thought that was me.
No.
And you're back.
internet?
Maybe what she was asking was, does Lady Donati speak to us?
Yeah, that's it.
She turns to you, she says, "To escape this painted prison and find the path that's right, you must solve a riddle of darkness and light."
Fuck! Oh, that's so crazy.
I'm assuming none of us will get this right.
My teacher asked me a riddle in school, and I couldn't answer it.
Screaming louder. More screaming.
Laughed.
Continuous screaming.
The riddle is, I'm found above you
The sky.
every night. With
The moon.
twinkling stars, I gleam so bright. Yet in this house, I'm not so high. I lay underfoot where secrets lie. What am I?
I'm so sorry, Clue. Davide contributes nothing to this because she's screaming.
The rest of you see this, by the way.
Night, sky,
On the next sky,
Yeah,
you are pushed out of the frame.
lights,
The next sky,
shant-
no, you are pushed out of the frame. Angelo appears on the floor in front of you.
I've been resurrected.
Davide is still in the portrait.
Screaming.
Yo, Davide's screaming, guys. I don't know if she was listening. Don't touch the painting.
What did you learn? Did you find any secrets?
No. It was
the
horrifying.
figure there turns to Davide, and whether or not you hear this is up to you. I'm held by kings, but not by kin. In halls of stone, I often spin. With silver voice, a tale I weave. In me, both truth and lies conceive. What am I?
Let's
Bit
see if
deeper.
she can contain her composure. A 9.
If you keep re-rolling the riddles, eventually we'll get one where the answer is
Screaming
just screaming, and then you will be out. But might take a while.
Could you make an attack roll?
Me
Yeah.
with something.
Yeah, with charisma. I want to see if your screaming annoys the painting enough.
What? Just straight charisma. It's a 12.
Okay, no, she keeps you on board.
Okay. Yeah. Continual screaming. I can make another check to see if she
Go ahead.
regains composure. 4. It's getting worse.
Make your another attack roll.
50, 13.
13. Okay.
Got another 9.
Will
on
you
this.
just calm down?
You can talk. Talk.
Clearly.
I can talk.
Who are you? Why are you here?
I'm struggling to breathe. I think. Breathe. It's hot. And it's so. Do you have a bag?
Takes out a bag. You will see this happen.
Where did she get the bag from? That's crazy.
What do you want to... Who are you? Why are you here? Solve the riddle and leave.
I got a 10. I guess I stopped screaming. Wait. Okay. So, I'm in a magic painting. The painting is talking to me, and I'm going to die.
Stay here too long. Solve the riddle and leave.
What riddle?
The riddle I am held by kings, but not by kin. In halls of stone, I often spin. With silver voice, a tale I weave. In me both truth and lies conceive. Root of all evil, what am I?
I'm so flustered. Can you say it again?
Go.
I am held by kings, but not by kin. In halls of stone, I often spin. With silver voice, a tale I weave. In me both truth and lies conceive. The root of evil, what am I?
Lies?
Money.
More specifically,
Coin, gold.
I said gold.
You're
Yeah,
not
but
in
it's-
the painting.
You're not
none of you are in the
painting.
painting.
Fano.
We can't hear this either. This is so out of character.
Oh my goodness. Specific money. Okay. Platinum.
Steve, a coin will do. And she flicks you off, and you are ejected out of the painting next to Angelo.
Hey.
Screaming. And then quiet. Oh, I'm alive.
You know, in retrospect, that was kind of sick. I existed in a two-dimensional space. And then I didn't. Wow.
I don't think we have a form for what just happened to me.
I don't think we've learned anything about the crime. Unless Kazimir Crossley paints talking old women as part of his magic. Maybe he does, I don't know, he's a felon. I don't know what criminals do, they do some shit.
What
That
of the
was
remaining clues would you like to investigate?
Yeah, you said there were signs of a struggle, right, on the floor?
On the floor, you see footsteps through the ash, similar to the ones that got to the pantry. However, with that roll,
they
I'll
ours?
give you. I will give you this as a natural 20. There was a chair placed here. People stood around it. There is a spattering of blood on the floor that has survived the thing, the fire, and then the boots have moved off. You put together, and this might cost you 2 clues, that this is where, perhaps, based on the slashing you saw earlier and the spray of blood, this is where Lady Vittoria Donati died.
Oh, Stefano! The wound? Here, I think they had the old woman on a chair and they, killed her and stuff. You know in those pantomimes when they're interrogating people and they put them on an interrogation chair and they're all like, tell us where your money is, and they're like, it's that. But here...
Yes, I know those chairs well. You could be right.
I don't know, guys. I feel like she would have mentioned this in her Speak with Dead because this seems fairly traumatizing and memorable.
Well, the Speak with Dead script could be written and penned by the correct hand. Doesn't necessarily mean those words are true.
So there was a group of guys. So maybe our pink tiefling friend had friends. Or maybe he didn't do it.
A group of what sort? Any clues as to who and how?
A group of friends who
Short.
didn't eat any food? Doesn't seem likely.
I try not to eat very much so I can fit into my armor. It gets a bit tight sometimes.
I don't wear armor.
Wait.
It makes me sweat. My doctor told me that it gives me bad skin.
Yeah, it's kind of itchy. So there was a group of guys. But why would they... What did they want from her? Is it I know this word. A home invasion. Were they trying to steal her things? Or... I guess... He looks at the trail of footsteps going up the staircase. I mean, I guess we should probably follow that and look.
We have to. It's our job.
And is there anything else in the entrance hall, James, that really stands out to us?
I've given you, I think, the options: the chandelier, the stairs, and the bookshelves, of which you have 2 points remaining.
Bookshelves, secret door in the poem. The study of maps and lore, secret globe. Wait, is there a globe in here, dude?
No.
I see. Odd 19. What do you think?
You want to everyone?
What's the question, sorry?
What do you want to do? You have 2 more. You can bank them and come back later, or you can investigate the remaining of this room, which is the 3 areas of the chandelier, the stairs, and the bookshelf.
And we can do 2 out of those 3.
Take a quick read of this.
Yeah, I think
I'm
chandelier
feeling
needs to be one.
Chandelier bookshelf.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck the stairs.
Our DM's abandoned us in our hour of need, however.
Hello, I'm back. So, are you choosing the chandelier and the stairwell?
Yes. Bookshelf?
We'll start with the bookshelves. The books.
Oh,
The books all document. You can hear it. You can hear
Is it
Jess in the
hard?
background. But you can all hear the bookshelves document. These are less charred than everywhere else. It is a series of books devoted to the various explorations of lots of different scientific expeditions, archaeological expeditions to the Everlasting Isles, which you know are slightly closer to Dominus and the rest of Lucail than Varsala and Sacramar, and then also to the Ruined Isles, which are further out, which many people theorize may once have been the capital of whatever civilization called this part of the world home. Clearly, as you've already ascertained, this was the area of much of the lady's study before she became too old to continue this. There does appear to be... These shelves are intact. There are several books missing. Obviously, you're unsure of the nature of these books, but some have been taken, clearly. They are not thrown on the ground, they are just simply missing. And given the immaculate way the rest of them have been kept, even through the fire, you can tell that they either have been removed and are somewhere else here, or they are missing. You also, there is a snag of fabric on one of the bookshelves that clearly someone walking past was snagged there. Could somebody, you can nominate who, and this will not be an advantage, make a perception check on this item to see what this fabric may or may not have on it.
I can do it.
I have expertise if anybody wants to.
Marco.
That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Pog.
You look at it, you pick it up, and you flick it back, and you see that it contains about a quarter of a symbol that you recognize as belonging to the Golden Order of Varsala.
I'm not surprised at all.
They don't seem good in this.
We know
scenario.
who's done it. We just need the frickin' final bullet.
The Golden Order is so good and gold and just and mighty.
Okay, this can't come through Angelo because he's an idiot, but in the study of maps and lore, a secret waits behind closed door. Are we missing like a hidden door somewhere? Like this was the lady's bookshelf study? Is that back in the library? I don't know. Or maybe we.
Well, we're going to the
look
library
into
after this,
that one.
no?
Yeah, I guess so. Alright, cool.
So the library is
it's-
on the same floor that you are all on now. If you're going upstairs following the footprints, that goes to either the laboratory or Kazimir's room. Or you can go to the library before continuing upwards.
And we have one more clue token for
In
the chandelier
And you want to do chandelier.
or stairwell.
Or stairwell.
Pref team?
Yeah, I'm there for it.
Chandelier.
Chandelier. Let's have it.
That's my vote.
So chandelier, which has mostly fallen to the ground, is a couple of the specks of it are covered. In blood. However, one of the crystals of the chandelier, completely unvarnished by the fire, completely unaffected, and is slightly warm to the touch. And as one of you touches it, it immediately falls out of the socket, as if it was never intended to be there. And as it falls to the ground, you notice it's misshapen compared to the others, and emits a very faint light all of its own. You're muted, Luke.
It's a what, sorry?
So, just one of the kind of fittings on the chandelier of glass, you touch it, and it's warm, and it immediately falls out as if it was never really intended to be there or fitted there, and it emits light all of its own.
Davide kind of hiccups and pulls tinder and flint box and torch, and lights a torch and holds it up to the crystal.
There is no reflection of the fire. In fact, it almost reacts. The fire and the shadows and smokes around it they're almost impervious. There's almost as if the flame wasn't, the light fitting wasn't there.
Yeah, we'll bank this one for later. I don't understand, and I'm speaking as cleared. Library or upstairs?
I'd
Yeah.
love to check out the library and just see if there is something behind that bookshelf.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it. DM to
Okay.
the library.
DM to the library. Wonderful. Where are my descriptions of all the rooms? Excellent. The library. The library, a grand chamber lined with tall shelves of books and scrolls, is a tragic sight. Half of the room has been ravaged by the fire, with shelves turned into charred skeletons of ancient texts reduced to ashes. The other half remains mostly intact, but the air is thick with the smell of burnt paper and wood. The grand but now shattered stained glass window on one end of the room once bathed it in colourful light, now shattered on the floor in front of you. What? Could I have investigation checks from everybody, please?
That's a 10.
Dear. Just ignore mine.
Ooh, 22.
Ooh.
Two
Ooh.
successes, so 3. And Erin,
And
Mark, 10. You have 3 successes in this room because Lucas counts as 2. Basically 21 or over is 2, and then anything under 1, and then enough 20 is 3. So you have 3 successes.
Oh, I got a natural 20.
Oh, sorry, did you? I thought you got lower. Fair enough. 5 successes in this room. What? So there are the 2 sections of the room. There's the one that's a lot more clear, and there's the one that is a bit more charred. There is the stained glass window. There are notes and parchment scattered around, of which you can investigate, and there is also a various cupboards scattered across the room. If you wanted to look for a secret area, I would say that's an entire clue in of itself, and there may or may not be one.
Davide,
Let's-
go straight to the
Secret door.
secret door. Secret door.
Okay, there is not a secret room, but there is a secret bookcase. As you all look back, you manage to peel back
Ooh.
one of the intact things that reveals reveal another bookcase, and you realize all the books on the front of that are fake. None of them are real. And the books in the background seem to be a entirely personal collection of Lady Vittoria Donati, and they are logs of her personal expeditions to various ones of these islands. And as you kind of get towards the end, you see that she has written in one of these, most important discovery of my life. There is a drawing next to it of a black gauntlet, and it is kept inside secret vaults.
Davide goes ham on the parchment and notes lying around.
So the parchment thing hanging around, they are various letters, they are various bits of research. Interestingly, so far, most of what you have found relating to Donati and her research is history. There is a different hand across it. This is another clue, you're down to 3. And most of these are referring to either learning about the arcane, history, and particularly necromancy, and the art of returning people to life, or healing, animating corpses, and the energy and sustenance
She
of
wrote all of that?
Horologium. No. There's a different hand.
Oh.
You find research notes by somebody else in this study. Sorry, in this,
Is
li-
there
in this
any-
library.
Is there any evidence that would link, say, if Kazimir were the one writing this, would link some sort of magic which he used on the old woman to make her younger, or to heal her in some way, or to revive her in some way? Just because a lot of the servants talked about her being more youthful, I wonder whether that's not just.
Could you personally roll an investigation check?
Sure. Investigation. 12.
Well, there is a lot here about the transfer of energy, the soul, the essence of what makes somebody alive, and healing magic. Your there is no confirmation. There is no like silver bullet, like I wrote this or I did this. But you don't think it's impossible that whoever studied this had a fairly deep understanding of the theoretical soul or energy or essence transfer between people, between inanimate objects, between inanimate corpses, the calling back of souls, and healing. It is not beyond the possibility, no, based on that role. But you have no confirmation.
Mhm.
So kind of, one, assuming that it was Kazimir, and two, that was that woman that he was doing it on, the process was at least possible based on his note.
Yeah. It is possible to transfer somebody's essence to someone else, to heal them, to restore them in some way. You don't understand the exact machinations. This is fairly difficult to understand arcane literature, but certainly the idea of like essence transferring between people is possible based on what these documents.
Yeah. I share that, and as I sort of kind of go, this page, all of these notes, they make it seem like the transference of mortal life between people is possible. And by the looks of it, whoever wrote these notes was dabbling in some pretty serious shit.
I don't understand. It's hard. So, like, the guest was a necromancer, but didn't kill her. He was just a nice one. Or maybe not a nice one, but didn't kill her.
Well, the butler and the tailor that we talked to, they kept saying that she was kind of old, and then assuming that he was right and this Kazimir arrived 5 years ago, maybe it sounded like he was a bit of a dick. So maybe there was more of a reason that Lady what's her face let him stay. Maybe he was performing this some sort of magic on her.
What's up with this weird black hand picture? What's so important about it? It's just an ugly glove. It's kind of weird. Does she have it? She discovered it.
Looking at this drawing, it's quite intricate. It's a black armored gauntlet. It doesn't really have any markings on it, but each of you feel slightly unsettled looking at this, as if it's almost weird. It's like almost you feel the back of your head a stern parent telling you not to look at it. It's an unshakable feeling.
I don't like it. It makes me feel weird.
I won't look at it then. Absolutely. I shouldn't look at it then.
I will absolutely look at it. I'll look at it more because I'm being told not to.
I'm just gonna run to the bathroom while you guys
You
chat.
don't prescribe to authority.
I wear it.
Are any of us holding it, or is it just like?
So wait, is this like a physical thing or a picture?
No,
of
it's
a thing?
it's a picture of a physical thing. Potentially, it is a drawing. Sorry, as I said, running to the bathroom, so I won't be able to respond. If you guys are holding it, the book, or not holding the book has no effect. But looking at it for a period of time is uncomfortable unless you don't give a shit about authority.
Okay, alright. I'm just reading this long ass poem, yeah?
Yeah, we got to put it on basically.
Secret behind closed door, blah blah blah. Hand of Bane and Silent Sleeps. This is a hand.
It's also a gauntlet. Look at the last passage. Reach through the night.
Seize
put
the
your hand
gauntlet,
into.
grasp the might.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It says put your hand inside. Put it on, essentially.
So do we
And then
take
make one
from
hell of a
this?
wisdom saving throw.
Okay, we are definitely not solving crimes anymore, right? But there is a gauntlet. So there's a gauntlet in the house, and we need to find it and put it on.
Well, this
Hey,
is a
Luca.
gauntlet in the picture now.
Yeah.
But like the same way we just kind of went into the picture, just reach out into the you just try and put it on like through the picture.
You just wanted to cram your hand in the drawing?
Not my hand. Someone else can volunteer. I got a +1 to.
As a picture survivor, I will put my hand on a piece of paper.
You put your hand on the paper, and that feeling in the back of your brain that was like disapproving parent stop is now like incredibly disappointed at you, and you have like this bird's eye view of yourself touching this paper and looking absolutely idiotic.
I don't think I should do this, guys. He pulls his hand back. Is there a globe in this room, Jamie?
There is not, surprisingly.
Oh.
Perhaps for a library.
Oh. How are we meant to turn the globe if there is no globe?
Let's head to the library where the globe is.
In the library without a globe. Was there a
Are
globe
you-
in the study we went to earlier?
There was not a globe. It's like too early.
It's a shame. It's a classic globe hanging out spot.
There's
True.
a stained glass window in here. We have clues left for this room, right?
Yeah.
You
What's
got
up with
two
stained
more.
glass?
One more, sorry. One more.
Oh, so what options do we have that we can spend our clues
You
on?
have the various cupboards that are in this
Cupboards?
room, or you have the stained glass window.
The broken window, I guess? Like, did
Sure.
assailants come in through here?
Maybe
Maybe
there's
it's thinking.
a picture or some sort of meaning in the window.
Exactly.
Window.
Window.
The wall.
So,
Window to the wall.
looking at the things on the floor, you see that some of the stained glass windows are twinkling ever so slightly more than others, and as you kind of put them together, you realize that put back, this might not have just been a window, but there are runes on this that once whole may have formed some kind of protective spell or some ritual, whatever you may believe.
A magic. What bloody hell? Okay.
You can attempt, I will say, if you want to put it back together in its original form, that will probably be some form of check, maybe investigation, maybe arcana. Probably arcana, the more I think about it. You could put it together via an arcana check as a group, should you wish.
Anyone want to do a puzzle?
Is there anything in the notes that, having spent a clue on, would give whoever was doing that advantage on their arcana check?
There isn't, but you can give each other the help action.
Okay.
Any puzzlers?
So, first of
I
all,
got-
I will require a sleight of hand or investigation check to pick up the pieces without damaging them, and then an arcana or history check to put them together.
I got the expertise in investigation here.
Do it.
All right. Is that with the help action?
So, no, sleight of hand or investigation first to not damage any of the pieces. If this fails, you can't
And
do
is
the second
that-
check.
And is that with advantage or not? With
That could be with
Oh.
advantage too, yes.
It's a 19, baby.
Nice.
Excellent. Arcana or history check, as you all help in gathering these pieces together.
Okay. And putting them together is a what?
Arcana or history, depending on how you attempt to do it.
I
Come
think
on,
I
Luke.
like doing
Don't
puzzles.
miss.
Not like using my brain, but I like putting coloured shapes together. I will roll.
What you rolling?
This putting it back together, yeah?
Yeah.
What Arcana or what, Jamie?
History.
That's a 15. Is it a 15?
15
Oh,
with
history
advantage.
17. Oh, with advantage. Oh, Pog, that's a natural 19. 21.
Nice.
As you put it together, the runes light for a second, flash, and reveal a beam of light about a person's width upwards.
Man.
Oh man, what room's above this?
Or yeah. Let's follow the light to the room above.
Spectral gaze.
Mm.
Ah!
As,
Is this
as
for the
you
gaze?
step into the room, it teleports you upwards. As you look around, you see one side of this room you've been taken to is completely in ruins. Alchemical apparatus shattered, ingredients scattered, wood fixtures charred. The other side, though, covered in soot and debris, weirdly completely intact. Several intact tables with alchemical equipment, notes, books, a large globe, Kyle, but with no entrance to this room. This, clearly, is a secret laboratory, separate to the main one, which none of you have been in yet, so you wouldn't know why you know it was secret, within this house.
Yo, it's a globe. We have to turn it.
Pretty much.
Turn the globe.
What's the clue? Is there anything specific about that?
Turn the globe and learn what's yours.
Through the eye of distant shores. Was that the
As you
distant
look
shores?
at so could you all make investigation checks for this room, which will be separate to your investigation of the laboratory should you decide to.
Oh god, natural 1.
Investigation.
An 11.
24.
Nice.
24, 2. Anyone over a 21 other than
Yeah, 22.
Nice.
4?
Hell
on the
yeah.
marker? So anyone else over a 15? Cool, you have 4 clues in this room.
I feel like we're playing Mansions of Madness. but
I know,
D&D,
same.
I love it.
Yeah. Alright, give us a clue. I want a clue.
Well,
So
what
looking
can
at
we
the
use our
globe,
tokens on?
looking at the globe, which I presume you want to look at, there is an engraved eye, as in the outline of a pupil, on one of the land masses. You see it to be where Varsala currently.
Hold on a second. It's a globe, but Lakai is flat. So how is it a globe?
It's
Is it like-
representative of a globe.
A disc?
Don't. It's a disc.
Is it like-
no. Sorry,
We
sorry.
like a
break
steering
my
wheel.
It is a globe where Lucail is a floating landmass that can be moved up or down. So it forms the center of the sphere in like a square that you can move it around.
I see.
That's tight.
Oh,
Nice
you
save.
both
With your flat
Good
earth.
Good shit. Good shit. This is very correct.
Through the
And
eye
as you
of
all
our
can see,
soul.
that where Varsala is, an eye is engraved.
Okay.
Turn that shit.
We turn it
Above
towards
it, and
the
above
eye.
it, there is the constellation of stars on the ceiling.
On the ceiling.
On the ceiling above you, the stars are outlined, half destroyed, half still there.
Beneath the stars where shadows creep, so the stars, the hand of Bane in silent sleeps. Through the eye of distant shores, turn the globe and learn what's
In terms of
yours.
the rest of the stuff you could investigate while not attempting to maybe solve the riddle, you have the various experiments that are going on, you have the notes, and you have the charred area, which I would just say looking through entirely is one clue in of itself. So you have 4 clues, 3 points.
Can I hit me with the clues again, sorry?
So you have 3 clues, which you can investigate the experiments,
Yep.
the notes, or the entire charred section of the room itself. Of which the barrier, I will say, is part of that check. So the fact that for some reason, half this room is like literally almost destroyed, the other half is basically immaculate.
Maybe the notes will tell
Notes?
us
We
how to
can check the
fix
notes.
solve stuff.
Yeah.
Notes,
Notes.
yeah.
I think notes.
Going through the notes, this is written in the same scrawl as was in the library. So Kazimir, if you are assuming it is that, clearly had access to this room. There is no mention to the globe, however, and the various experiments are to do with attempting to recreate the polymorph spell. It is attempting because you see basically lots of iterations to the disguise self spell not being sufficient and Monty being concerned.
The author is referred to as Monty.
No. Somebody named Monty is concerned with the disguise self spell not being sufficient, and there are attempts to recreate a potion of polymorph in this room.
Monty go.
Sounds like he should just level up a little bit after going on a campaign so he can cast polymorph naturally. I don't know.
The guy we met, the sus guy with the ring, his name was Montague.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's nothing in the notes about the globe or...
Nothing in the notes about the globe.
This dumb bitch didn't know about the globe.
How did they not know about the globe? Dumb bitch.
She's a dumb bitch.
Maybe he didn't care.
Even dumber.
Okay, and then the rest is experiment. So, well, I guess the experiments are like, we kind of know what they're about, right? Because the notes kind of detail it. So charred stuff?
Charred
Yeah,
bits?
charred stuff, and then we can start turning globes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, investigating the charred stuff. The rest of it is burned beyond repair, almost as if the study is quite close. As if that center was nearby. There is one set of footsteps, smaller than the other, that has come through this. One person has been here between the house burning and everything else occurring. The barrier is clearly magical. Whatever happened here, it is literally like something has just stopped the fire. Dead set. There are books half burnt, there are shelves half manacled, there are beakers half melted. Whatever is magical here has stopped it. The rest of it, virtually destroyed. But for some reason, this part of this room has been protected.
Okay. And do we know the origin of that barrier? Is there anything obviously that is that?
I will say, with your clue point there, it's around this globe, forming this
Yeah.
barrier.
Oh, what's okay? Right. There's an eye on the Varsalan landmass. We have to turn the globe through the eye of distant shores. Beneath the stars. Is the globe beneath the stars now? It just is.
So the stars are above you. On the sea.
Turn through the eye of distant shores. Turn globe and learn what's yours.
Like, what way can we turn this thing?
So you can do it in all directions. So it's like the landmass, as was pointed out, is flat. So it can be angled and flipped upside down, and changed and twisted.
I flip the world upside down.
Okay.
Yeah,
There
that
is
feels-
a small compartment underneath the eye that when you flip it opens, and there is a slot for you to put something.
A key, by any chance?
Key.
The key!
Key
Is
does
it a
not fit.
shiny crystal from the chandelier?
Shiny crystal from the chandelier might fit.
Ooh.
Dig that boy in! Let's go! I'm
As
so
you put it in
I love
and
this.
slip it down, all of you can make a wisdom saving throw for me.
I told you the wisdom saving
God
throw was
fucking-
coming.
We fucked.
Oh no.
Wait,
Yeah,
I
rogues ain't
rolled the
making
wrong one.
shit, boy.
That's fine.
Fuck's sake.
16.
16?
Oh, 14, oh my god.
So I clicked my normal wisdom and I didn't look at it, and then I clicked my wisdom save and then I did look at that. But technically it's the same number, so should I take the first one or the second one?
Second one, the extra roll. You know, it's random. either way,
19.
So, you know, I haven't looked at it, but it's random. Okay,
Second
who got
one's
over a
higher.
15?
Me.
Hands up, who got over a
That's
15?
one more.
The rest of you drop to the floor in like a full-on bow position, like knees up at beds, hands forward,
God.
bowing
Fine.
beneath it. The rest of you feel this crushing presence, and you just hear, "Say my name, worthy who enter here."
Bane.
Daddy? I mean,
Bane.
Bane.
By the way, the name Bane means nothing to any of you. It means less than nothing. Like, this isn't even a person's name, god, anything you've heard. You obviously repeat it from the notes you've heard before. The effect immediately dispels. The rest of you are still on the floor, bowing beneath this globe. And at the other side, 2 bookshelves slide back, revealing a large wooden door with a keyhole in it.
Oh,
Hey.
baby!
Nice.
We got that earlier! Yeah, click. Let's go.
Oh, speed running.
Can we shake the lads on the
So
floor and try to
efficient.
get them to stand up?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
they can
are
now.
the
They're
boys
free.
still operational?
Upon uttering
Okay.
that name, all effects stop.
Nice.
Guys,
Daddy
somebody just spoke to me and they sounded really authoritative, which I really liked.
Marco, there is a searing pain on the back of your hand. And as
Oh.
you look at it, there is a gauntlet embedded now on your hand. Burnt.
Does it have an eye on it?
No. It's a black gauntlet. You touch it, and it's sore,
Okay.
but it doesn't feel like a tattoo. It doesn't feel like a scar. It is just there now.
Alright. Matches my black leather jacket, so
That's
I guess.
really cool.
I don't know if this was a job for detectives. I feel like this was a job for clerics.
But, like, maybe the people coming in were trying to get whatever this is, because it seems, I don't know, kind of important. So maybe we should know what that is. And our job is to investigate, so we're totally investigating really well.
Yeah.
I opened the door with the key. That's fine.
As you open the door with the key, it swings back to reveal a hidden passage, narrow, seemingly going underground. And there is
Wait, where even
a
are we?
wave of air hits you, as if, yeah, where the hell are you?
Maybe the assailants came in through here, or something.
This could be where the criminal is hiding. A hidden spot, which had to be bypassed using an elaborate number of passages and clues. We could apprehend him.
Yeah,
Apprehend?
Think of the
Hold on.
promotion.
with like
Hold on.
made up name, like Bane. Who is she? That's a stupid name.
Exactly.
You don't know, I said it before, this is clerics' work. This is dangerous. That fireball or orb of fire down there. If they could do that downstairs, what could they do to we?
I survived being 2-dimensional. I got this. I was squished flat and then I popped open again.
Damn, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose you can't argue with that.
You too, Davide. We're like survivors of trauma.
What trauma?
A painting.
What painting?
I don't understand.
You go through this secret passage.
Hell yeah.
As you walk through, it is cramped, it is cold, it gets dark, and then you look ahead, and there is a large silver globe ahead of you. And as you make your way out to a larger chamber lit by green flames on either side, the torchlight, there is a vault door with no seeming way in. There is no key, no lever to pull, nothing. It is this room has been carved from stone. There is a metal silver door ahead of you, illuminated by green flame. What do you do?
Your Mansions of Madness players, the Vault of Echoes, dark and cold, guarded by the knights of old. A spectral gaze, a challenge wrought to prove your worth. Leave with naught. Spectral gaze. Challenge. Ghosts.
Vide checks her notes and reaches her hand out.
To do what?
Just wave it around in
Nothing
front of
happens.
her. She then checks the notes again and says, Oh, what about Marco? What about if Marco touched the door?
Oh, you got a hand on your hand, yeah. Like, reach
I'll try it.
through the night.
He reaches out with the gauntlet.
Careful now.
As you touch the door, you are all thrown back towards the door, and can I have dexterity save throws from everybody, please?
Baby.
Let's be proficient for once.
Oh, damn! We're sick at these.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not. 6.
Very nice.
Okay.
That is
Mediocre.
an 18.
That's also an 18.
Jamie, why are you rolling 49?
I was just curious what I rolled for this. Don't worry about it.
5 d20s.
Don't think about it too much. It's okay.
I didn't think about it. As you all are thrown backwards, those of you who roll less than a 15 take 10 points of bludgeoning damage as you are thrown into the wall.
Fucking hell, I've only
Y'all
got the
okay?
18.
Level 2 gang? Y'all...
And
Dude,
four,
look at him, bro. Real rough up, man.
four spectral knights, ceiling high, 8 foot tall, appear, draw twin sabers in front of this vault, and bellow at you. Only the worthy shall pass. You shall fail like the last who came here. And they stand to attention as you are all crumpled against the wall.
Luca tries to run.
Yeah, you run. You just run out. You run out the secret
No
passage. Like,
hesitation.
go.
He's seen enough. He's way beyond his pay grade. You know, he's not even a field aide. He shouldn't even be here. So he
If we rolled above a 15, were we still thrown backwards?
You are thrown backward, but you take no damage as you manage to impale yourself on the wall in a way that doesn't hurt too much. Crumple your fall against somebody else, maybe, who did take full damage.
Hero landing, but against the wall, like a spider.
Pretty much, yeah.
I would like to try making eye contact with the guards and hold their gaze.
Could you make an insight check?
Well, we've already done the gay spot.
Hold on.
We never
No,
done the
no,
gaze.
but this is the Vault of Echoes, dark and cold, guarded by the knights of old. These are the knights.
A spectral.
Their
gaze.
spectral gaze, a challenge wrought. It's like a staring contest, maybe?
Yeah,
To prove your worth or leave with naught.
I pull out my hand crossbow, I
contest.
point it at the knight, and I shout, Circumar National Guard, get down on your knees!
You can roll an insight check as well. Absolutely,
Drop your
both of you
weapons
roll
or I
insight
will
check.
fire! Drop your weapons or I will fire!
I am a trauma survivor. This is fine.
Alright, I rolled a 23 on insight.
I'm so like to square off.
Meeting this creature's gaze, it is unblinking, but the mere fact that you meet its gaze, there is there is something approving about this, and you, somewhere deep down, what did you roll? Davide, insight.
I got a 23 as well.
23.
Man.
Both of you, you realize that there is a level of improvement in merely standing up to these 8-foot towering things. There is no response to either of them to your actions beyond you have shown determination and bravery, and that is what is required here, beyond martial prowess.
I'm a trauma survivor, so I'm also squaring up against them.
You can make the same insight check.
Does he put down the gun? His sword?
Oh.
Does he put down the sword?
None of them do.
17.
Okay.
Stefano.
You
is
hear the
back.
same. You think
Yeah.
the same thing, although a little bit less sad.
Insight. Wait, mine sounds really good actually. I think that's my expertise. It's even more. It's 20. Damn.
Can I approach the guards with the hand that has this black gauntlet on it, like kind of stretched outwards?
As you
Can I
approach,
get close to them?
two of them that you approach, kind of in between of them, lift their swords above.
I fire.
It passes
Ooh.
straight through them.
I keep eye contact with them and play chicken as I continue to walk closer, ignoring their
Sure.
lifted
One of the
swords.
swords slices down towards you.
I don't flinch.
It passes straight through you. And you walk on by past each of
I'm a
these.
fucking badass.
I absent-mindedly walk behind Marco, letting him do all the bullshit, and I just feel like, hey, I walk past them.
Both of you charisma saving throws for me.
Oh no.
Marco, you
Damn.
can make yours at advantage.
Marco is ice
Oh,
cold.
oh man. Okay, this one ring dice is the one.
17.
Success?
Maths. Charisma. I'm glad I shifted my points into charisma. 19.
19. Both of you succeed. There is no effect as you walk past these guards. The rest of you, Luca, are you still running down the tunnel at the back? Luca,
I mean, yeah, he's
cool.
I mean, well,
you...
we got teleported, no? Like, what?
Yeah. So you make your way back to the lab, and the same ring of light is there, and you could walk in that ring of light, and you hope be presumed teleported back to the library.
Yeah.
Yeah, you make it back to the library. Where are you going? Who are you running to?
Out of the building.
Okay, you run and you appear, and as you appear out of the thing, Captain Ilaria Silverwing catches you, and you see the description of the priest next to her. So that is currently where you are, and we will deal with that perhaps with the rest of the party. Davide and Stefano, where are you?
Stefano is also leaving, and he's calling out to his companions who went through, like,
I said it before. It's not a job for detectives. We've got backup if we need it.
Okay,
And we need it now.
You are
And he heads
leaving.
out.
You go with Luca, and you are caught by the same people, I
Yeah.
presume, outside the gates. We will deal with that in 2 seconds. Davide, what are you doing? After the crossbow fire straight through them, and you see your rest of your party walk through
Stefano,
this.
don't leave me!
Sabers.
Our colleagues, we've got to provide them covering fire. And I just try and, like, in the most ridiculous manner, try and fight 4 spectral swordsmen who are 8 feet tall. Like, you know, rolling on the floor like a 5-year-old, getting my crossbow, like, pew, pew, pew! It doing nothing. Like, brave but stupid.
Could you, what's your AC?
You could die.
it'll be like
14.
14. What?
It's 14.
Yeah.
Okay, they miss, but one of them strikes back at you, and as you kind of dodge it, it slams into the wall, and this is suddenly very real, and there are rocks that crumble out of the thing as the impact hits the wall. And it kind of retreats and goes to seem to make another strike.
No, never leave guards behind. We brave on. They need me. I keep firing.
You two on the other side, how do you react to this? Or are you focused on the vault ahead of you?
I'm like waving back to Davide, being like, no, it's cool. They're not dangerous persons or whatever. They're chill.
Take cover. No, Angelo, take cover. They've got swords.
Oh, they're ghosts, dude. It's cool.
Davide, calm down and just follow us. I need you to take notes up here.
This is a procedure. We're under threat.
Nice.
No, could you
Put
make a
your
charisma
crossbow
saving
down.
throw at disadvantage?
Oh no.
I sure can. I got a 10.
10.
Imagine your
You
boss
fail,
this isn't
you are-
procedure.
Terrified of these creatures and of the others. It shakes you to your very core.
Okay, I run.
You run, you go and join the others as they leave, and you begin giving maybe your report. By the way, I rolled 3 strikes. I rolled a natural 3, a natural 2, and then a natural 3 again. Davide may well be consider herself sorry, to walk out of this room alive.
He's worthy, man.
He is worthy. I'm surprised they didn't.
Love it. You two who remain. We should talk about the others in a second. Ahead of you, the vault swings open to reveal an ancient wooden pedestal and a floating black gauntlet.
Oh no.
Alright. Who knows what this is, but I don't, so I'm gonna walk forward and seize the gauntlet.
Okay.
Just like the
Seize the
poem
day.
said.
Do you remember the last bit of the poem? Could you make a charisma saving
With
throw
hand
for me?
outstretched, reach through the night, seize the gauntlet, grasp the might, but wary be, for powers dark can consume the feeble heart. Charisma saving throw, you say?
Yes.
So back in the
Oh,
old days,
boy.
you used to get these checks called save or die.
Yeah, this might well be a save or die.
This is 18.
Did I have a charisma saving throw? Did you
I
roll
rolled
an
an
18?
18. Mhm.
I should put on the gauntlet. Angelo, how are you reacting to what's happening right now?
I think I'm watching Marco being like, is this a felony? Are we stealing if we put this on? I'm
We're
not
investigating.
sure. Yeah.
As you slip the gauntlet on, you feel it clamp down and burn on your skin. It is painful. And if you attempt to push it off, you can't. And suddenly, there's another voice in your head. Hello. It's been a while, but you don't feel compelled. The charisma check is high enough that some part of you and Marco remains dominion over you, your hand, and this area right now. Angelo, you see as the gauntlet erupts in green flame,
Whoa.
as do the walls around you.
Yo. That's some shit, man.
Are the flames burning us, or are they like?
They should be, but they're not.
But they're not. Interesting.
Am I getting burned? Because I'm not wearing
No.
a thing.
Well, he turns to Angelo. I don't really know what this has to do with the rest of the investigation, but I think we have solved it. It's now stuck on my hand, however. I can take it back to the evidence locker.
Do you respond to the voice in your head?
What is it that the voice said to me again?
Oh, it's been a while.
No, he didn't ask me a question, so he can make.
So you all just turn
comments.
around, walk out, and is that what the both of you are doing? What are you guys?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what
Cool.
else to do.
We'll leave it the rest of you.
I guess I'll search for clues of perpetrators and old lady killers.
There are none such that exist here, unfortunately. The rest of you two can tell me if you message me what you're doing is you leave, but the rest of you appear out, and Ilaria, Silverwing, and Kim are standing there, and they look like I look at you and like, what is wrong? You're rushing out. Is everything okay?
So 2414 code guards down, needing backup inside.
Just me or Kim or all of us?
All of you, all of us.
Kim, I'll go get the others. And Ilara leaves, leaving you with Priest from earlier. The rest of you, Stefano and Luca arrive. So is Kim standing there. This is the priest who did the speaker dead earlier. What has happened? This is fairly an open and shut case. What is wrong with all of you?
Am I outside at this point?
No. You guys both aren't there yet.
Okay.
Luke's just stammering out. He's kind of, and he's just like, I don't know. I guess how physically would you look if you had 15 HP and you just lost 10 of it in an instant?
You are screwed. You are screwed. You are bloody. You are.
Yeah, like literally, he's just bleeding.
She goes like, "Oh, you're hurt. Sorry," and she casts Cure Wounds on you. I think I'll roll it. She heals you for 17 HP.
Okay, he's straight back to
Back up to normal. Like you got these bloody through, but you are filled with the holy light of Sacramar and the Golden Order.
He kind of just slumps, sits down on the ground. He's like, just mumbling to himself something about reports and
Yeah.
desk chairs.
Okay. The rest of you, if there is nothing more from Stefano, Davide, and Luca other than mumbling about reports, some unintelligible perhaps about what has happened, or guard down, or order 44104. Is there, other than leaving directly, Marco and Angelo, is there anything you would do? upon leaving. You're muted.
I just want to interrogate Kim Greysteel. That's what I've been waiting for.
Yeah, you leave, and
You still got the
Kim
call
Greysteel
on.
is standing. So there is.
we got a black
Yeah.
hand.
You all. So I'm going to say you all reconvene outside. Marco has this black gauntlet on that is emanating some kind of authority. You all feel like slightly naughty school children within its presence, and they seem unperturbed. And Kim Greysteel was looking at it strangely as well, in a way that none of you realize. The way that all of you were kind of looking quite strangely at it. But upon the re-emergence of the two people you thought you lost or were in trouble, how are you all reacting, and what do you ask Kim
Hey
Greysteel?
team, all good.
You're alive!
Yeah, obviously.
How did you get out of there? What about the
Walk
assailants?
No,
I told you they weren't real.
they were chill. Like I said, they were just ghosts, man.
They
You
had
could just
swords.
looks up what's your character called again?
Marco.
Marco, with this weird feeling of authority. I'm sorry, boss.
I didn't realize I got promoted. Marco is going to look over at Kim Greysteel and say,
You should look at the note message I just sent you, by the way.
to me.
Hello.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm going to look at Kim Greysteel and say, ma'am, I believe we need to ask you a couple of questions. Davide, can I get you taking notes once again?
Yes, sir, of course. Right away, sir.
I'm not your. Oh, never mind. Somehow I got promoted. How does Kim respond when I ask her questions?
Stands to attention a little bit, given your current aura. Let's put it that way.
Kim Greysteel, can you please recount what happened when you were asked to cast the Speak with Dead spell on Lady Vittoria Venati?
Of course. I was summoned here after the fire had been put out and what remained of her corpse. I was informed that she was not of the most together mental state, so I advised she be placed in an area of her liking, where she was more mentally sharp, her study, and I performed the Speak with Dead spell.
And who is it that advised that her study would make her more mentally sharp?
I presumed.
And do you have any prior relationship with Lady Vittoria
I knew of
Venati?
her various archaeological works, but not personally.
And where was the body originally found?
In her bed.
And can you please recount to me exactly what she said when you performed the Speak with Dead spell?
She said that she was murdered by a pink tiefling who had stayed at her house via force and had appeared about 7 days ago.
Do I believe her, DM?
Inside checks.
Dirty 20.
Inside checkies. Also dirty 20.
19.
We all were Vane, so like,
Yeah.
let's do that shit.
Thanks, Daddy Vane.
Thanks, Papa.
Oh, I
Okay,
rolled.
just altering the history of whatever has happened in Varsala with one shot. That is fine.
I wanted to roll with disadvantage due to shell shock, but I still rolled 22 apparently.
All of you see this person standing to attention, and given the aura being admitted by Marco at this moment, you see something that in another context might be quite sweet, but in this is worrying, which is of a child telling their first lie in front of their parent. That moment of sweet innocence
Well, it's
is
weird,
incredibly obvious
man.
that somebody is lying, but this is an elderly dwarf before an authority figure that doesn't really exist. By all metrics, this person outranks all of you. But beneath whatever power this gauntlet has bestowed for the time being, they're a child, and they are lying.
Cool. All right. I think Madam Greysteel, you have the right to remain silent. We are going to be taking you into the station for further questioning.
I would say
Anything that you say can and will be used against you. You have the right
as you
to
put her in
legal
handcuffs,
representation.
as you put her in handcuffs,
Magical handcuffs.
magical
Because we got
handcuffs,
those.
tie her to
Social
whatever
handcuffs.
ratings there are. I will give you all a moment to consider the evidence that you have seen here tonight. To consider if you believe this person, Kim, is the scapegoat or murderer. Of what you are perhaps accusing the Golden Order of what you have done, and how exactly you are going to fill in your report. And I will allow you all, before Ilaria returns, to consider as a group how you want the rest of the night to go. For some of you, it has already been decided. For the rest of you, however, there is a choice to be made. Given the context of who has asked you to perform this double check, and yet also who you suspect is an individual. Is it higher than that? And how will you proceed as a group? And I will allow you your final decision, separate from any NPC's involvement.
So how I imagine the rest of Marco's evening going is ideally getting her back to the station and getting one of our Zone of Truth mages to come and do a thorough interrogation and hopefully find out why she falsified the Speak with Dead transcript and her connections to Kazimir Crossley, connections to the victim, and connections to any individual that she may reveal to be connected to the case who may have killed women themselves. However, knowing the far reaches of this kind of holy order, I would not be surprised if Marco and his compatriots do not even make it back to the station and are never seen of again. So that's my
Literally.
theory crafting of what may be happening here.
So,
That's
All
my
right.
intentions.
perhaps that is the intention of Marco. You all, however, are given time to decide your decision about what your character will do with the information you have at hand. Will you join Marco in apprehending Kim and making the arrest and going forward? Will you consider the evidence and decide something else? Where are you all at right now? And you may discuss this in character.
I'm like super conflicted, right? Because obviously the Golden Order is lying and this transcript is wrong, and they probably stitched up this poor random tiefling for like no apparent reason.
Random.
I guess they didn't like him. I don't know, I don't get that. But also the Golden Order is really cool. I think the High Praetor is really, really cool. And I can't believe that it would really go that deep, guys. I don't know, man. And he just, like, zones out and looks to the side and just shakes his head, contributing absolutely nothing of value.
You don't have to come back to the station with me if you don't want to, Angela.
No, I want to go everywhere with you.
Oh,
I'll follow you to the ends of the earth, my lord.
Very well then. I think your shift is over, so
Thank you.
whatever you want to do.
I'll stay right here. He's gonna stand behind him. Okay.
The rest of you
Well, it was a great insight into what seemingly real policing is, but I think I'm probably not cut out for it in the same way that the rest of you are.
The rest of you. Luke is still mumbling on the ground.
What do you decide, David?
Kind of, basically, if at any point the kind of aura of authority leaves, Davide.
I'd say this is your free choice. Like it's a chastising authority, but not a you must obey me authority.
Well, she writes a report, basically, kind of snaking the rest of the officers. She writes that they disobey, they don't follow engagement protocols. Their evidence systems are shoddy and lacking. That they don't follow rules of rules of combat, and that there's no kind of team and unit cohesion under fire as well. So it's pretty scathing. It's critical, right? But it's not like
untrue.
It's not. It's more like they would get a dressing down.
Yeah, understandable.
That's
And what
fair.
side do you come down on, or do you spend more than enough time commenting about procedure that evidence maybe doesn't actually get in the way?
She also writes up that there is insufficient evidence to attribute either the arson or the murder to the tiefling, given what has been discovered.
Excellent.
And whether that gets her in trouble, she doesn't care. But she absolutely files an official complaint about the accuracy of the Speak with Dead spell, and probably goes nowhere because paperwork. And she continues to blindly uncover the truth.
Wonderful. Okay, we'll deal with that and the consequence second. Luca, what do you decide?
Luca most likely retires as soon as possible. Not retires from the force, but like retires home. Probably also retires as soon as possible, but that's not happening within the timescale of what you're asking. He retires back to his house as soon as possible. His report is actually just an accident form over how he smacked his head and feels concussed, and tries to claim some sort of medical kind of benefit for getting injured in the line of
You
duty.
had an accident at work.
Wonderful.
He just doesn't even consider relaying what happened to him. The only focus is going through the correct procedure, of which he's very firm with. He knows it. He's done it before with his shin splints, and he's doing it again now for the damage. So yeah, he's just interested in getting a couple of months off of paid leave.
Okay.
Cool.
Wonderful. Stefano, what are you looking at this night's
Stefano-
events decide to do?
Stefano does something actually quite unexpected for someone who's died in the war. And it's because he feels he's seen this before. He does, instead of writing particular accurate reports to his superiors, particularly about the misconduct, he writes actually quite unremarkable paperwork. Really, as engaged as he
We've
That's
lost
not
you.
much
We're
said.
losing a couple of words every now and then.
I
Can
think
you
when
hear
you
me now?
lean back, when you lean backward, you cut out.
So basically,
Unremarkable
it's
paperwork.
a bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a bullshit report. It the passion and danger you guys are will not be there, and that is because Stefano is worried. He saw some shit that he ain't seen before, but he also we seen some shit we ain't seen before. But then also he is suspicious of corruption in the military police and the implications that might have on his life. So he basically writes himself as a remarkable participant and fucks off back to Olakai
Very well.
as soon as he can.
To give you guys some resolution on your stories and how they go, Angelo, you are just happily, blithely following along behind Marco, correct? Very
Yeah,
well.
I am.
Kim is taken in and arrested. Marco, you are invited to a personal audience with High Praetor Ptolemy III himself to discuss your findings of the night. Unfortunately, for many of your loved ones, we find that is the last that is heard of you or seen of you. Davide's report is held up as an example of the incompetence that was performed this night and confirmation that the Golden Order and Kazimir is clearly responsible given the overwhelming evidence and the lack of proper procedure followed by those of you. Yeah, Davide is in fact promoted and given a very different station. Stefano is obviously never seen again as he fucks off. Duca, if you are perceptive enough, you notice that you are followed and closely followed by the others. However, your complete inability to even attempt to do something suspicious would have been Angelo. You are taken in for questioning. However, before torture is even begun, you are very quickly released and continue to serve under Davide's new task force. However, you do unfortunately never see Marco again.
Star-crossed lovers.
Okay.
What about Polo?
Oh, does Polo come back from his
Yeah.
holiday and he's like, where the
Polo's
fuck's
on
Marco?
Yeah.
Hey,
His
He's
brother.
never seen again either. As the events of the night are left in the murky secret of twisting stories, inaccurate reports, procedure not followed, and bullshit, as well as the uncovering of a potentially dangerous artifact that now perhaps vests with the Golden Order's upper hierarchy.
Whoopsies. What have we done?
Which may or may not
I can't believe I've done that.
be a different state of affairs than prior to this one shot.
Can I seed something, Jamie? Can
Yeah,
I
go
try
ahead.
and redeem my character's utter disgraceful behavior at the end?
So bear in mind, this is about 6 months before the events of campaign 2. So
Did we just
your
make campaign
characters
2 harder for us?
that exist may or may not exist in the follow-up. So if you wish to see something from your character or you are unhappy with the thing, I can, to this day, obviously slightly retcon it. So please, Ben, go ahead.
I would just say that although she, for a while, may accept the promotion and the increased authority and process and law that comes with the Golden Order, she is a stickler for truth and honesty. So at some point, she either becomes a whistleblower or she gets killed. Because
I will say
it's not something that she would drop.
Ben, you personally can make a percentage dice roll, and whether or not perhaps Davide appears as a story thread for somebody's backstory in the next thing will be up to this dice roll as to whether or not you are murdered for your investigation, and you are looking to roll high.
She would consistently say, he is not guilty, there is insufficient evidence, we cannot prosecute this, and I think that would probably go poorly for her.
That is probably going to go poorly, and I wonder whether or not your character realizes quickly enough, because obviously they're immature. So percentage roll, whether or not your character survives to perhaps be a quest giver next campaign.
Sure. I'm just gonna roll, because I'd have to roll 20. Okay. There we go. These are the
Yeah,
these
high.
are the windows.
You're looking for high.
I don't fuck. I got a 69.
Wow.
Happy
So
June, gang.
As I said, some of these one-shots may or may not have an effect on the actual campaign. This one, seemingly, based on those 2 results, will be. However, all of you, no matter how poor or good of a policeman you will be, will leave with the knowledge that the Golden Order's story of tonight contains a lot of holes. Kazimir Crossley may or may not have lived here for 5 years, or a week. May or may not have murdered this old sweet woman historian who owned the Gauntlet of Pain, who doted on him, seemingly. Attended various parties, asked for some to be made, was looking for a way to disguise himself better. Seemingly had some connection to House Montague. And obviously you guys will find a lot more about that next campaign. But thank you, everyone, for watching the first one shot. There will be questions. Please ask in the Discord if you have any. Obviously, players, we will discuss it afterwards about what was missing, what you could not have missed. This was the secret ending, as you may or may not realize. There were many endings, as you could have first of all seen. To be really clear, it was supposed to be fairly obvious early on that the Golden Order's version of events was not true, and then it was to what extent is it not true, and then all of your characters can make the moral choice about whether or not you go along for the sake of continuity or attempt to phrase it in some way. And phrasing it in some way will have effects further down the line. And finding the Gauntlet itself was its own mini quest within it that will obviously affect campaign 2. So, thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. These are going to be a bunch of silly one-shots. Some may or may not be impactful. Some will be more lighthearted than others. Next one, I believe, at the moment at least, assuming the party is ready, because this will require some prep, we are going to be delving into the Monks of Savras, the God of Fate, and a potential decision to be made on how directly fate and destiny should intervene on the everyday lives of certain characters, and in this case, to prevent the ascension to godhood of one of the mages of the world.